We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly.
.906 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Some people need a reason. Some people need a reason.
Need a reason.
You're not allowed to collect rainwater anymore. It's frowned upon. So you got to clean up the water coming in. We got a lot to get to today. Apparently, there's an Iran deal that is perhaps imminent, or it's going to be bombing.
Allegedly.
Well, I mean, it's going to be one or the other. There's either going to be more bombs or there's going to be more peace.
True.
There's no in the middle. We're not doing the in the middle stuff. We're going full Katy Perry. We're hot or we're cold. So, what? Why'd you shake your head?
You said there's no middle part, and all I thought of was...
But when you middle from the middle...
Yeah. We used to middle from the middle.
Used to.
This used to be a country where poor kids would have just as much of a chance as white kids. What? That's what he said.
It's what he said.
That's what he said. So don't be mad at me. Dan already got called racist a bunch this morning.
Fair.
I don't want to be called that either.
No.
Not a bunch. A hint, I don't mind. But we got a lot to get to. Marco Rubio, yesterday, did you see what he did?
No, I didn't.
Well, he took time away from being Venezuelan dictator, White House beekeeper, wedding DJ to also be the press secretary.
Ah.
And he actually did a good job. Like, he was funny. He was engaging. He owned the room. And for the first time, I was like, okay, I see what people are saying when they say he could be the next president of the United States.
I'm here for it.
Are you?
I think I am.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, he's got 2 more years in the position to figure out what he's doing, so maybe he might fumble leading up to it, but him or Vance, I think we got good options.
I mean, we definitely have good options. I don't know. I don't know if he's overtaken Vance yet, but I do think...
I don't know either.
Vance, he's got to bring some more to the table.
That's kind of why I'm leaning more Rubio, because Rubio's stepping up a lot, and Vance is doing good with the fraud stuff. Don't get me wrong.
But we got to see some more fruit on that tree.
Yeah.
100%. Rubio just does a lot. And the more we see of him, I think the more likable he becomes. And I think that was one of the big things that Vance had over Rubio, was the likability factor.
Yeah.
Wait, do you think that President Trump is setting Vance up to not have as big a profile as Marco?
I don't know. I think that Vance has been strategically taking a back seat because he doesn't want to have the stink of the Iran war on him because of how that looks with the Big Tent, because the independents and the moderates don't like it. But when they sent Rubio for the peace negotiations and then it fell through, when they sent Vance for the peace negotiations and then it fell through, we haven't heard much from him since.
We haven't.
You know, I mean, he's been out. He had an event yesterday, I believe it was in Iowa, and he's pushing on the fraud front. But other than that, I don't know. It feels like it's been more quiet. And yesterday during the press briefing, as I'm watching it, I was like, I think Rubio just did a better job than Vance could have done. Is that fair? Is it just me?
So no, I think we get to see the real Rubio. Like, the comedy. He's a pretty funny guy. He feels like a real person to us.
Yeah. And I think you got that more yesterday. We'll get to the audio from the Rubio press conference here in a minute. But let's start with the latest from this morning. I got this from Axios. I was listening to Joan and Dan on the way in. Daily Mail was saying that we're going to allow uranium enrichment in this deal. That seems to be bovine scatology, especially when an outlet like Axios doesn't have it at all. They say the White House believes it's getting closer to an agreement with Iran on a one-page memorandum of understanding to end the war and set a framework for more detailed nuclear negotiations, according to 2 U.S. officials and 2 other sources briefed on the issue. The big picture. This is how. Why does anybody else? Do you read Axios? Does anybody actually read Axios? The way they lay out their articles, it's always, I don't know, weird. They always, let's start with the big picture. It's like AI is doing it. Do you ever feel like that? Is it just me? Maybe it's just me. The big picture. The U.S. expects Iranian responses on several key points in the next 48 hours. Nothing has been agreed to yet, but the sources said this was the closest the parties had been to an agreement since the beginning of the war. Among other provisions, the deal would involve Iran committing to a moratorium on nuclear enrichment, the U.S. agreeing to lift its sanction and release billions in frozen Iranian funds, and both sides lifting restrictions around transit through the Strait of Hormuz. Did you hear that they got dolphins?
They got dolphins.
Dolphins with laser beams from
I'm here
Russia.
for it.
From Russia. Seriously, that's like actually going around online.
What do they pay him with? Drugs?
I would imagine it's pufferfish and drugs.
Yeah.
It's
the only thing.
Don't let them near your scuba divers.
Dolphins super into hookers and drugs.
They really are. But they say many of the terms laid out in the memo would be contingent on a final agreement being reached, leaving the possibility of renewed war or an extended limbo in which the hot war has stopped, but nothing is truly resolved. Then they say, reality check. The White House believes the Iranian leadership is divided, and it may be hard to forge consensus across the different factions. Some U.S. officials remain skeptical that even an initial deal will be reached. U.S. officials have expressed optimism about a deal at several points during previous rounds of negotiations and during the current war, but have yet to reach one. Spoiler alert. I don't know if you're keeping score at home. Did you know that? Yeah, everybody knew that. But the 2 U.S. officials said the president's decision to back off of his newly announced operation in the Strait of Hormuz and avoid a collapse of the fragile ceasefire was based on progress in the talks. Behind the scenes, they say one page, 14-point memorandum of understanding is being negotiated between Trump's envoys Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, and several Iranian officials, both directly and through mediators. Again, you notice a key figure missing from the Axios article is J.D. Vance, who was supposed to be the peace guy. And we know that guys that back J.D. Vance don't exactly support the war. David Sachs is one of the first ones that was speaking out publicly against it from within the Trump administration. But they say in its current form, the Memorandum of Understanding would declare an end to the war in the region and the start of a 30-day period of negotiations on a detailed agreement to open the strait, limit Iran's nuclear program, and lift U.S. sanctions. The negotiation could happen in Islamabad or Geneva, 2 sources said. Iran's restrictions on shipping through the strait and the U.S. naval blockade would be gradually lifted during that 30-day period, according to a U.S. official. And if negotiations collapse, U.S. forces would be able to restore the blockade or resume military action. So that's the latest on that. As more info comes out, we'll have it for you here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. That is going to be one of the big topics of the day. Yesterday, one of the big stories in my best Tupac voice, all eyes on me, Marco Rubio in the press briefing room. He was on every single channel, CNN, C-SPAN, CBS, MS Now, we don't dead name. He was on Newsmax, Fox News. He was on Newsmax 2, ABC, Sky News, News Nation, Fox Live, BBC. He was everywhere. And he opened it up with some jokes. He's like, I need a laser pointer to pick on people. But he did drop some gems, and one of them was this.
Undergoing now. What that may lead to in the future is speculative. I'm not going to speculate about what it would take or what it would do. But look, the message to Iran, these guys are facing, they are facing real catastrophic destruction to their economy, generational destruction to their economy, generational destruction to the wealth of their country, imposed on themselves by the actions that they're taking. They should check themselves before they wreck themselves.
What? They should what, sir? that got the attention of every millennial and Gen Xer in the audience.
before they wreck themselves in the
They should check themselves before they wreck themselves.
They should check themselves before they wreck themselves in the
I love it. That needs to be a hotkey, by the way.
Give me one more.
All right, I'm going to roll it for you one more time. You ready? And you got to clean up the end. He rolls into his next sentence real quick.
They should check themselves before they wreck themselves.
They should check themselves before they wreck themselves.
That's good.
Chickadee, check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Before you riggedy wreck yourself.
Playing with Donald Trump might be bad for your health. So just letting you know. That's a Chris Hand remix. He went off on Iran's pirate navy holding civilians hostage in the Strait of Hormuz and nearby waters. This is a big topic of conversation yesterday with Project Freedom happening, where they were going to open fire on those small boats that were doing, I don't know, would you call it a drive-by or is it a float-by? I feel like it's a float-by. What do you do? What do you do when you're just cruising on the water?
A casual glide by.
A glide-by? They were doing glide-bys, according to Mason.
Water skimming by.
A water.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know the terminology. I don't own a boat.
Yeah, I was like, I don't boat often. I'm not on that tax bracket.
I've rented a pontoon boat on occasion on Tim's Ford Lake, but that's about as far as my boating knowledge goes.
Yeah, I was in a rented kayak once.
No weapons. Also,
no
I would
weapons.
imagine. So
Had an oar. Couldn't use it very well.
There's that. We're not sure on the terminology. I understand what it would be in the streets. It would be a drive-by.
Yes, sir.
But what they do on the water, a float-by.
Bob by.
A bob-by.
Just bobbing in place.
Marco Rubio.
Civilians from 87 different countries that are trapped inside of the Gulf and left for dead in the Persian Gulf by this Iranian regime. You know, for more than 2 months now, these innocent sailors and commercial crew members have been stranded out at sea because Iran is conducting something that's not just criminal. It's criminal for sure, but it's desperate and destructive, this blockade of the Straits of Hormuz. Nations from around the world, the overwhelming majority of whom are not even engaged in any military hostilities, are now at risk not just of losing their cargo, but the lives of their own citizens because of this blockade. These ships, you know, you don't leave a ship out there for this long. You start running out of food. You start running out of potable water, essential supplies, and they're at the mercy of this piracy. And what it is, it's piracy. And not only that, but some of them have seen, you know, been open fire on and rained down senseless attacks on several civilian ships already. So frankly, the way to put it, these are innocent bystanders. These are countries that and ships and so forth that have nothing to do with any of this and nonetheless are being caught in the middle of it and being held hostage merely because Iran could do that, just because of, just as the regime brutally slaughtered tens of thousands of their own citizens for the crime of peaceful protest, because they're unhappy with the quality of life or the lack of quality of life in Iran today. And so they're sitting ducks. They're isolated, they're starving, they're vulnerable, and at least 10 sailors have already died as a result of the civilian sailors. So already many nations privately and some publicly have asked the United States to help free their ships.
And that's what the United States started doing. And they wanted to stop these little pirate boats from going around and shooting bullets at these ships. They wanted to free those ships. And Project Freedom was announced on Sunday evening by President Trump. Marco Rubio saying yesterday that it's a purely defensive operation.
Defensive operation. This is a defensive operation. And what that means is very simple. There's no shooting unless we're shot at first. Okay, we're not attacking them. But if they're attacking us or they're attacking a ship, you need to respond to that. You're not going to let some fast boat come up on a ship and shoot it up. We're going to respond to it, and we've been successful at it. I don't know what the exact number is, but I know a number of those fast boats have now been targeted, and will continue to be if they pose a threat to our forces. We'll shoot down drones, we'll shoot down missiles, but it's defensive in nature. This is defensive. So if you hear stories about attacks and launching of firing back and forth, it's not back and forth. We are only responding if attacked first. This is a defensive operation, and that's what's occurring here.
But then as soon as Project Freedom was announced and Marco Rubio was talking about it from the podium yesterday, it seemed like moments later there was an announcement that the Project Freedom would be paused Fox News had that call. It sounded like this.
Minutes ago, we got this news that President Trump announcing a new operation. This is Project Freedom that will allow some of the ships that have been stuck in the Strait of Hormuz to be safely escorted out of that waterway. The president, who is here in Doral at his golf club watching the PGA Cadillac Championship, posted this on Truth Social, saying, "For the good of Iran, the Middle East, and the United States, we have told these countries that we will guide their ships safely out of these restricted waterways so that they can freely and ably get on with their business."
So that was the announcement from Trump. It was on Sunday, May 3rd. But on yesterday, after that press conference with Rubio, he posted this on Truth Social. Based on the request of Pakistan and other countries, the tremendous military success that we have had during the campaign against the country of Iran, and additionally, the fact that great progress has been made toward a complete and final agreement with representatives of Iran, we have mutually agreed while the blockade will remain in full force and effect, Project Freedom, the movement of ships through the Strait of Hormuz, will be paused for a short period of time to see whether or not the agreement can be finalized and signed, which, as you can see from the markets today and oil prices, has created a lot of hope in the markets. It's created a lot of hope on the world stage. Jesse Waters doubled down on that statement last night, saying he believes that because of this pause on Project Freedom, that the commander-in-chief must be pretty serious that the Iranians are ready to surrender. Maybe some factions are, but are all of them ready to surrender? Jesse Waters seems pretty confident.
The president says, based on the request of Pakistan and other countries, we have mutually agreed that while the blockade will remain in full force and effect, Project Freedom will be paused for a short period of time to see whether or not the agreement can be finalized and signed. We suspect the president is letting the Iranians save face. The enemy just yesterday said they controlled the strait. That was obviously a lie. And watching the Americans escort ship after ship out of the Gulf and them not being able to do anything about that was going to be humiliating. Not only were they going to lose whatever military prestige they had left in the region, their negotiators weren't going to be able to fight for their position after they lost their last bargaining chip. The commander-in-chief must believe that the Iranians are serious about surrendering if he's going to pause Project Freedom for the sake of a deal.
I hope that's the case. Time will tell. And I'm sure we're going to be getting more headlines, more reaction out of this all day long as we move throughout the show. On the way, we'll bring you some more audio from Marco Rubio yesterday in the White House press briefing room. Again, he took a break from being the Venezuelan dictator, the White House beekeeper, and the Secretary of State, plus acting USAID administrator to be Caroline Leavitt. And he did a pretty good job. We'll bring you some more of that audio. We'll take your phone calls at 615-737-9986, and we'll bring you that Rubio audio next. But later on in the show, we're also going to talk about fraud. We're going to talk about the California governor debate, which was wild last night. And we got some updates on immigration. All that and more right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
Coming up here on Super Talk 99.7, Tennessee, lawmakers have now released it. Their proposed new congressional map is ready to be voted on. It's coming up here at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Headlines on the way in less than 2 minutes. Breaking news right now. Ted Turner has passed away at the age of 87.
On the death of a television and American legend, CNN founder Ted Turner has died at the age of 87. Turner, born in Cincinnati, Ohio, made his fortune first through advertising in the state of Georgia and then made his way into cable television where he made a fortune. On the seas as a sailor, as a baseball owner for the Atlanta Braves, he was an American trailblazer. Ted Turner, dead at the age of 87.
I mean, it's a crazy story. Ted Turner, I mean, they left it out there, but I think he's most well known for being the owner of WCW. That's how I felt, how I found out about Ted Turner back in the day when I was a wee lad in the 90s. But, I mean, owner of the Atlanta Braves, CNN, TBS, the guy was an absolute mogul and ahead of his time.
He was Jane Fonda's husband. What are you talking about? That's what he's most known for.
Is that what he's most known for?
Yeah.
Well, we send our condolences. I mean, that's a crazy story, Joan.
Sure is.
Do you think that Ted liked the way CNN ended up?
I don't. However, he was married to Jane Fonda for 10 years and even recently said that he still loves her. So if you can love Jane Fonda, you've got to love her ideas, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a crazy story. Rest in peace to Ted, and sending our condolences to the Turner family and everybody, over at CNN. This is one thing that we won't do. We won't celebrate the death just because people are on the other side of the aisle or they created a network that has pushed lies and hoaxes for years. We won't. But rest in peace, Ted Turner. 9:30, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It is 9:31. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. And Tennessee Republicans have just now released their proposed map of new congressional districts for the state. It came after the House and Senate worked together on unifying their ideas. Tennessee House Speaker Cameron Sexton with Dan Mandis earlier this morning.
On the House side, we have Doug Himes, who helps us with the maps, and And on the Senate side, they hired people to help them with the maps. And we both sides sat down and said, here's what we're thinking. Here's what we're thinking. And then we worked through it over the next little bit. In this instance, we had to work through it in 24, 36 hours or so. So, last night we kind of merged the two. It's a combination of both. We took some of what the Senate wanted, some with what the House wanted, and we're in a very good place.
And that map has been released after a brief meeting this morning. South Carolina Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace saying she's obtained records through a congressional subpoena that revealed the value of several confidential sexual misconduct and harassment settlements struck on behalf of members of Congress.
These are from documents that Mace and the House Oversight Committee subpoenaed, and ABC News has learned they show upwards of $338,000 in previously confidential taxpayer-funded settlements between 2007 and 2017. Now, all of the members listed have since left Congress, and each of the incidents, most of them rather, have been previously reported by ABC News or other outlets, but it comes amid a broader push for reform up here on Capitol Hill.
That is ABC's Jay O'Brien. And an announcement from the Boring Company on X this morning, it says the company has signed its first residential Music City loop station agreement. That means Nashvillians living at Prime, Alcove, and Paramount Towers in downtown Nashville will be able soon to take an elevator directly to a loop station within the building, board a Tesla, and be at the airport in 9 minutes on an underground trip.
Be an a-hole.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I got it wrong.
We don't dead name on the Chris Hand Show.
Sorry. I'll try to remember. And as Chris was saying earlier, Ted Turner, the founder of CNN and philanthropist, has died several years ago. He revealed that he had Lewy body dementia, which is a progressive brain disorder. He was 87 years old. That is the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at United Structural Systems, and let's be honest. Foundation issues are one of those things that as homeowners, we don't want to deal with. We'll see a crack or maybe a door that doesn't close right. The driveway starts sinking, and we think, we'll get to it later. But later actually means more expensive. This is why you need to trust United Structural Systems. They've been doing this work since 1994 here in Tennessee, and what I appreciate is how they approach it. No scare tactics, no overselling, no sales guy showing up to your house, just a pro who's going to actually take the time to inspect your home, explain what's going on, and then tell you the truth. If you don't need repairs, they'll say it. If you do, you'll understand exactly why, and these guys handle everything from foundation repair to crawl space work to concrete leveling, and they do it with systems designed to last. Right now, you can get peace of mind and pay later with 24 months, no interest financing now through June. Don't let your foundation problems get worse while you wait. Visit USSTN.com or call 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855. We are USS, USSTN.com. Elon Musk's privately funded tunnel from downtown BNA.
The most cutting-edge transit systems in the world.
They call it the Music City Loop. We call it the BNA hole.
We've submitted a list of questions, and so we're looking forward to the opportunity to get answers.
Questions like, how does a tunnel work? Or how can I be the biggest a-hole in the room without even trying? Because clearly, the fiscally responsible thing to do is to keep traffic backed up until every driver becomes an a-hole. The BNA hole. Zero cost to the taxpayers, and that's the real problem for the left.
I kind of think that's on brand.
Not enough opportunity to play tax collector a-hole. The BNA hole, where progress goes to upset liberals. 38 minutes past the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? My name's Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC. You can listen on all the apps. The FM dial is there as well. YouTube and Rumble. If you want to watch the show, hit like, hit subscribe, help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. We appreciate you doing so. There's a lot to get to today. Marco Rubio was an absolute beast yesterday inside the White House press briefing room. He took a bit of a break from his normal duties. You know, White House beekeeper, Venezuelan dictator, Secretary of State, wedding DJ.
Yeah, he's got the hello, my name is, and just trades out what title it is.
He's the man of a million jobs.
Yeah.
And Caroline Leavitt's probably nervous. You know, these ladies, they go on maternity leave and then they get replaced.
Yeah, hey, take the time you deserve.
Take the time
Stay
you
with
deserve.
your kid. But
Don't worry. But Rubio's gunning for that job, clearly. Rubio was awesome yesterday. He was funny. He was engaged. He also brought a lot of information to the press briefing room. There was a bunch of questions when it came to Iran, but he had something to say about the countries that are constantly crying and gnashing their teeth about international law, yet they go soft on Iran when it comes to international waters. This is Secretary of State Marco Rubio yesterday.
Waterway. And international law is very clear, and I love it because everybody always talks about international law on this. International law on this is very clear. International waterways, no country can control them. There is no international law that allows you to say, I'm going to put mines in an international body of water and I'm going to blow up ships that don't listen to us and try to go through. That's what Iran is doing. This is a criminal act. And someone needs to do something about it. Something needs to be done. It's completely illegal, completely illegitimate, and completely unacceptable. And that's why the United States military is guiding stranded commercial ships safely through the strait and is working to restore freedom of navigation and putting an end to these efforts to hold the global economy hostage. So far, as a proof of concept and as a proof of function, 2 U.S. flag merchant ships have successfully transferred the Strait of Hormuz.
So we're getting ships out of there. That happened yesterday before they put a pause on Project Freedom. Today, we're getting more updates that the negotiating style of President Trump has been paying off. Peter Doocy, moments ago on Fox News, said that when the United States said, we're not traveling there to negotiate with you, that was a big moment and a big statement from the president and the White House. And he said that it looks like it is paying off.
That it's too soon to start planning to send negotiators to Pakistan for in-person peace talks. They just are not there yet. However, there are signs that President Trump's decision over the last couple of weeks to stop sending Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner to Pakistan for in-person talks and start doing everything by phone has been paying off.
I'm not sure it's going to be one, but if there's a real diplomatic path and we continue to explore it, Steve and Jared are working on that very hard. If there is one there, it could be one that leads them to reconstruction, to prosperity, and to stability, and to not posing a threat to the world. The alternative is growing isolation, economic collapse, and ultimately total defeat.
That was Rubio yesterday saying those are essentially the 2 options left for Iran. This morning, we're getting a bit more news. Axios reporting that a deal could be imminent. Let's not count our chickens before they hatch. Peter Doocy making the point that not sending Vance and Witkoff and Kushner to Islamabad, Pakistan, could have really been one of the catalysts in getting, as some reports are saying, as close as we've been to a peace deal since this conflict started.
The main problem White House officials are having with these talks is that if they make a deal with one faction claiming to be in control of Iran, it's possible some other faction rejects it and keeps fighting or keeps trying to develop a nuclear weapon. A separate piece of the puzzle, helping protesters in Iran fight back against heavy-handed regime forces, if necessary, with guns provided by the U.S.
And we tried to do that. We tried to get him some weapons. President Trump famously said help is on the way, but then we trusted the Kurds, and the Kurds kept all the weapons, as we have detailed many times. The sticky fingers of the Kurds, they hung on to all of that, which doesn't help the people on the ground in Iran at all. Rubio said you have 2 choices. One is reconstruction and stability and not posing a threat to the world. The alternative, growing isolation, economic collapse, and ultimately total defeat. But he said Iran is trying to make this the new normal, the control over the Strait of Hormuz and blowing up commercial ships. Rubio said that's not going to be the new normal, and that's not something that this administration is going to stand for. And I think a lot of people in this audience would respect the fact that the Trump administration is not backing down here.
Go through there 100% without paying anything are the Iranians. If you do that, they'll keep the straits closed forever. They're trying to make this some new normal. Okay, under no circumstances can we ever allow them to normalize the fact that they get to blow up commercial ships and put mines in the water. So the response to that is we're going to blockade your ships. If everyone's ships are not getting out, your ships are not getting out either. That's not an act of war. That's a defensive measure. It's a counter to what they have decided to do. You know what is an act of war? Putting mines in the water.
Yep.
Why don't the members of Congress, whoever it is complaining about it, they should be all over that. These guys put mines in the water. That alone, mining in the water is illegal, period, under any circumstances, and they've done it. This is crazy stuff, but this is what they've done.
He's not lying at all. It's not just mines in the water. I mentioned it briefly earlier, but we also do have to worry about, and to a lesser extent, kamikaze dolphins. This is not a joke. It's not. I'm not kidding. You've heard about sharks with freaking laser beams on their head, but kamikaze dolphins are a real deal. You know that, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody knows it.
We'll get them hyped up a little
Kamikaze
bit.
dolphins. The Persians want to strap mines to dolphins to weaponize the strait. Don't tell PETA. These rogues are desperate.
I love that little tag. Don't tell PETA.
Dude, PETA doesn't do anything. PETA is a paper tiger of an organization.
Bro, they wave flags and they do protests, and then nothing happens.
They throw
don't do
like
anything.
red paint on paintings to protest animal cruelty. But when like homeless people in California are testing their drugs on the dogs that they're keeping with them,
They
like
look
not
that
a
way.
peep, not a peep. When the Iranians want to put a mine on a dolphin, make a kamikaze dolphin, where's PETA? Nowhere.
They're saving the chihuahuas in bags.
I didn't hear anything from PETA during the Indian festival where they hurl cats into the air.
Dude.
Have you seen those videos?
Yeah.
It's a tough watch.
It's rough.
I'll be perfectly. We've detailed some of the festivals that they do over in India. With Tyler Oliveira, he went over there and he detailed the poop festival.
Yeah.
Where they have all the manure come into the city to celebrate something.
Yeah.
But there's one where they literally are just throwing cats up into the air, and at a certain point, these cats are unconscious.
Yeah.
They're swinging them around by the tail.
Yeah, and the point is, like, I think they're supposed to land on their feet every time and blah, blah, blah. But, like, they get hauled so high up in the air.
It's
impact
like
so hard.
Yeah, it's like an India version of Groundhog Day. Is that what it is?
If it doesn't land on its feet, we got 8 more weeks of winter.
I think so.
I don't know.
It is a tough watch. I can stomach a lot because I was raised on the internet.
Yeah.
I was raised on rotten.com, if you're familiar. As a wee lad, I was like, oh, what is this website? Oh, my goodness. Then you can't look away. But when they do the cat festival, that's a tough sell.
We watch it so you don't have to.
I'm not even a cat guy. I'm not. You know it's cuter than the cutest cat? Any dog. But I'm just being honest. Everybody knows it. I can't watch the cat festival stuff. I mean, it's like 10 feet up in the air, dude. And the thing that got me the most is I had the sound on, and it's the plop.
Yeah, it's always the impact.
It's the plop.
The impact is too much.
Yeah. I mean, I think one cat would be one too many, but I'm like, we're talking hundreds of cats.
Yeah.
Where are they getting these cats? I don't mean to get off on a tangent. I don't know how we got to the cat festival from kamikaze dolphins.
I don't either. PETA.
Oh, PETA. Where are you at, PETA? Where are you at? Where are you at? Stop the cat festivals. It's a real thing, by the way. Google it. If you dare. Viewer discretion is advised. Sorry, I didn't mean to go down that road. And now I don't know how to get back. I don't know how to return.
Go to break.
To where I was, Joan. I don't know. Have you seen it, Joan?
I have not, and I don't want to. I do remember the first time I visited rotten.com.
It's something, isn't it?
It was you want to know what it was?
What?
It was to see Tupac Shakur's body.
Oh.
Do you remember that?
So I do. I was like 12 when I first discovered rotten.com.
was awful.
It's one of the reasons why I keep my kids away from the internet, because I know what it did to me.
Good.
And now I have an irrational fear of escalators and elevators because I see what happens with them in China.
Yes.
You ever see the videos where in China an escalator's just eating people?
Yeah, well, I mean, they show that on X. You can visit some weird places on X where they show that stuff too.
I know. Back to the topic at hand.
Keep your kids away from the internet.
You have to keep your kids away from the internet. Don't let them see the Cat Festival videos. Marco Rubio had some things to say. All right, let's just get back to it. He called on the whole world to step up when it comes to Iran and the Strait of Hormuz.
Just outrageous. That needs to stop, and it needs to end. And if he doesn't, then the world should be diplomatically and economically isolating Iran as well. But if we live in a world where global shipping lanes can be taken over by countries, that'll have a direct impact on Americans in the short and the long term, and we can't let it start by Iran doing it. And we're the only ones that can do anything about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, nobody else wants to do anything about it. And he actually went on to call out the United Nations by name for doing just that, refusing to do anything about Iran terrorizing the innocent vessels that are trapped inside the strait.
Talked about the second one enough. The second thing we're doing is we're going to the UN. Everybody loves the UN, right? We're trying to go to the UN, and we're saying, okay, countries of the world, condemn this. Say that it is wrong for you to put mines there. It is wrong for you to shoot at commercial vessels. Guys, that's what we're talking about here.
He said everyone loves the UN. Define everyone.
These guys are bombing commercial vessels. They're not bombing naval vessels. They're bombing commercial tankers. It's just outrageous. That needs to stop, and it needs to end. And if he doesn't, then the world should be diplomatically and economically isolating Iran as well.
He's absolutely right. He didn't stop there. He said the United Nations might prove themselves to be totally useless. I would say might or have.
Made some slight adjustments to the language, but I don't know if it'll avoid a veto or not. But the language isn't very complicated, and I think it's a real test for the UN, right? As a function, as something that functions that can solve global problems. What is the purpose of the UN? The UN was supposed to be a place where you could peacefully resolve global conflict. Right now, you have a country who is unlawfully, criminally, and illegally taking possession of an international waterway and blowing up commercial vessels and putting mines in the water. I don't know if people appreciate how outrageous this is, how unacceptable it is that any country would fire and try to sink commercial vessels or put mines in the water. Both of these things are illegal. And so we're going to take it to the UN, and we're going to give it another chance to be a forum in which we're not even asking people to commit troops to the region and help blow up the Iranian boats. All we're asking them to do is to condemn it, to call on Iran to stop blowing ships, to remove these mines, and to allow humanitarian relief to come through, because there's humanitarian aid that's trapped. That's it. This is a very modest request. And if you're telling me that the international community and hundreds of countries cannot rally behind that, then I don't know what the utility of the UN system is, if it can't even solve something as straightforward as that. And I think to both the Chinese and the Russians, I would argue and have argued that it is in their interest for that resolution to pass and for pressure to be brought on Iran, because it is in their interest not to see international waterways, including the Straits of Hormuz, be closed down and cause economic chaos to dozens and dozens of countries around the world.
That was Rubio yesterday at the White House press briefing. He did an awesome job. He brought a lot of information to the table. I didn't play the funny clips, but trust me, he was very humorous as well. But some great information. We'll take some phone calls from you guys on the way at 615-737-9986. We also have to jump in and talk about the California governor debate last night. Steve Hilton was fantastic, absolutely on fire. We'll bring you some of that audio. We'll also talk about some immigration updates and some fraud updates. We got a lot to get to, a little bit of time. It's 9:51 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. If you want to get back to a pain-free life and you want to do it with the most advanced tech yet, you need to call my friends at the Wellness Institute. You see, they have some of the best tech, some of the only tech in Tennessee, like a device called the HydroWave. The HydroWave is going to stimulate your own stem cells for healing at the cellular level. On top of that, you can get some anti-gravity machines, robotic lasers, cryotherapy, and these guys are going to absolutely take the time to review your MRI and explain what's happening, but not just that, how to fix it. A pain-free life is possible. And right now, you can take advantage of the Epic Spine Special. $33 each visit. Epic healing for an epic civilization. No surgery, no injections, no painkillers. You need to call my friend Dr. Mitchell over at the Wellness Institute of Nashville and get yourself back to a pain-free life. 615-246-5009. 615-246-5009 or find them online, painisbad.com.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis from Super Talk 99.7 WTN and Nashville's Morning News. I'm here with Chris from USS, United Structural Systems. He's checking out my basement, my foundation, my crawl space to see if there's anything wrong. Fingers crossed. All right, so there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is we found some cracks in my basement wall. The good news, I've got Chris here who's going to walk me through the next steps.
Yes, so unfortunately, your house has been subject to the pressure of the dirt. The hydrostatic pressure, heavy dirt pushes on foundation walls, and you've got a little bit of what we call bowing. So that wall is pushed in a little bit. We have a lifetime warranty solution for that. So we install, usually in a day or two, this can be done in most situations. We install carbon fiber straps, which keep the wall from moving inward at any point in the future. It's a lifetime warranty for anybody that ever owns this house. So it's a quick and routine thing that we do, but it yields some long-lasting benefits.
It's a great selling point if you want to sell your house.
Absolutely. Good thing about our warranties is they're not only transferable, like the contract says, they're automatically transferred when you sell your house. So you don't have to sign any paperwork or even send us an email saying that you sold your house. Warranty would transfer to the next owner.
A new map just unveiled. Tennessee Republicans say they've got everything on track now. Coming up at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Kamikaze dolphins. The Persians want to strap mines to dolphins to weaponize the strait.
I got a text from Larry. Larry said, I'm former Navy, and I can tell you that dolphins are too smart to be kamikazes. Well, unless they've been radicalized by Islamists. He's right, you know.
The Dolphins are Mossad agents.
We can't let our Dolphins be radicalized in the Strait of Hormuz.
Don't do it.
Please stop. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. I also have somebody else being very upset with me talking about the Indian Cat Festival.
Yeah, they didn't seem to like the thump part.
No, 5718 said you were cracking jokes about it. Is that really calling it out? I thought I was calling it out. I apologize if I offended any cat owners in the audience.
Any laughter was uncomfortable laughter because it's a little wild.
Go watch the videos, dude. It's crazy. I saw it last night, and I saw it in one of the most disturbing places. So the comments under Vivek Ramaswamy winning the Republican primary for Ohio governor was filled with awful stuff like that. Awful. Terrible, terrible comment thread. We'll talk about the elections last night here on the way. We'll talk about the redistricting. We also got some more updates on fraud and immigration, all that and more. On the fraud front, we were talking about J.D. Vance and how he's been kind of MIA a little bit. At least it appears that way. He was in Iowa yesterday. He voted in the Ohio primaries yesterday as well. He was zigzagging all over the country, but yesterday in Iowa, he had this to say about fraud.
In D.C. who fight for you, who fight for the people of this district, or who fight for corruption and fraud. Because I'm 41 years old, and for the first time in my entire life, I think we have seen a major political party in the United States of America completely go off the rails. They're not just talking about different views on taxes or on regulation or on the Clean Water Act, as important as all of those things are. They're talking about who does the government actually stand and fight for. When the President of the United States asked the entire Congress to stand for the simple principle that the people's government ought fight for the American people first, what did we see? We saw every single congressional Democrat sit on their hands. They didn't care about you. They didn't care about the people of this district. They didn't care about the farmers or the factory workers or the people who actually make this country run. Because now we have in Washington, D.C., a Democrat Party that is so focused on illegal immigration, that is so focused on people who don't have the legal right to be here, that is so focused on fraud because too many of their friends get rich from fraud that they forgot to look after you.
He's absolutely right. We'll bring you some updates on the fraud developments on the way, plus immigration and more. You want to join the show any way you'd like, text or phone, 615-737-9986. It's 10 o'clock on Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. And Tennessee Republicans have now released their proposed map of new congressional districts. It comes after they got down to work in a special session called by the governor.
On the House side, we have Doug Himes, who helps us with the maps, and on the Senate side, they hired people to help them with the maps, and we both sides sat down and said, here's what we're thinking, here's what we're thinking, and then we worked through it over the next little bit. In this instance, we had to work through it in 24, 36 hours or so. So, last night we kind of merged the two. It's a combination of both. We took some of what the Senate wanted, some with what the House wanted, and we're in a very good place.
That's Tennessee House Speaker Cameron Sexton on Nashville's Morning News. Now, Republicans say there is corresponding legislation for this proposed map that, quote, modernizes Tennessee's redistricting process by removing racial data from the map-making process. Secretary of State Marco Rubio making news yesterday as he led the press briefing at the White House.
Operation Epic Fury is concluded. We achieved the objectives of that operation. I'm not going to, we're not cheering for an additional situation to occur. We would prefer the path of peace. What the president would prefer is a deal.
And it appears President Trump may be close to that deal. Axios reports there is a memo of understanding with 14 points that's close to being agreed upon by both the U.S. and Iran. An update on the hantavirus ship. Some of the sick passengers on board have finally been airlifted.
This morning, an urgent evacuation with 3 people suspected of being infected with hantavirus finally taken off a cruise ship in the Atlantic. Now on the way to get medical care. The World Health Organization announcing there are now 8 cases of the virus stemming from the cluster on board. 3 people have died. The ship and its passengers now in limbo in the waters off Cape Verde. It was due to travel to the Canary Islands next, but this morning, the president there pushing back.
That's NBC News correspondent Camilla Bernal. So far, no countries have given permission for that ship to dock. President Trump weighing in on the death of Ted Turner. On Truth Social this morning, he called him one of the greats of all times. He said he was not on board with CNN becoming woke because it was against everything that he was about. President Trump also saying this morning that whenever he needed him, Ted Turner was there, always willing to fight for a good cause. Stocks moving even higher at this hour on hopes of a signed agreement between the U.S. and Iran. Right now, the Dow Jones Industrials plus 652 points. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 7 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen on all the apps, the FM dial. YouTube and Rumble are there for you as well. Smash subscribe. Help us grow that digital footprint of the radio station. Got a couple people waiting to weigh in. My friend RD in Colombia wants to comment on Marco Rubio. What's up, RD?
Good morning, Chris. I indeed agree that Secretary Rubio owned the room yesterday at the press corps briefing. And you know what? It appeared to me that they maybe showed him a little more respect than they normally do, the president, vice president, secretary, press secretary, because versus got you questions. For the first time in a while, the press corps appeared to be eager to gain Secretary Rubio's knowledge on all the issues at hand. I'm going to tell you what, brother, I am getting really excited about the 28 ticket with Vance and Rubio. It's a strong ticket. And, brother, for me, you can flip a coin, whichever one's at the top.
Okay, let me ask you a question then real quick, RD. If Vance gets the nomination, is Rubio more effective to stay in the Secretary of State position or as VP?
My word, what a tough question. He's one of the best Secretary of States. I'm 76 years old that I've seen in a while. Tough question. I got to think about that one, brother.
All right, well, mull on it and call me back in a couple days, all right? Appreciate the call. Let's go to Mick downtown. He wants to talk about Iran. What's up, Mick?
Hey, it's your favorite caller. I wanted to talk about the fact that the Russians are helping the Iranians kill American soldiers. How come Trump's not speaking out about it, and why does he keep kissing Putin's ass?
When does he kiss Putin's ass?
Oh, remember when he rolled out a red carpet for him and French kissed him on it? Remember that in Alaska?
Yes, he French kissed Putin in Alaska. This is our seminar caller who farms content for his YouTube page with 60 subscribers. I appreciate the call, Mick. Let's go to Gary in Springfield. What's up, Gary?
Hey, just want to let you know the Navy has trained dolphins, and these trained dolphins actually are able to, because they're highly intelligent, place magnetic mines underneath ships, and then they'll leave, and then, of course, they'll go off. So that
you said the Navy has done this?
I personally don't know if they've done it. They have trained dolphins to do it. That's a fact. Now, I don't think the Iranians are smart enough or even trained dolphins to do it, but they probably do have suicide dolphins or trying to train suicide dolphins.
Well, that's what they were saying on Fox News. Jesse Waters was.
Kamikaze dolphins.
Kamikaze dolphins.
Well, that's pretty cruel, but our dolphins are trained to actually come underneath and detach from them. They have a harness on them, and they place the mine underneath the hull of a ship and swim away.
Yeah, that's crazy. I actually just Googled it while we were on the phone. The U.S. Navy Marine Mammal Program, based in San Diego, California, has trained Atlantic bottlenose dolphins since the 1960s for specialized defense missions. They say that the dolphins are used for mine detection, harbor security, and recovering equipment due to their superior sonar. These animals are not trained for suicide missions, but rather to detect threats and protect vessels. I'm sure that they're doing some sort of mine placement. But they say key aspects of the program: dolphins detect underwater mines, locate and mark mines for clearance. They also detect unauthorized swimmers or divers near ships. They say that the dolphin biosonar is often far more accurate than the electronic sonar, allowing them to differentiate objects better than machines. And they have been deployed in combat zones, including the Vietnam War and the Iraq War. Absolute bananas and rice. They say dolphins are not caged in open water. They often work without tethers and choose to return as they are well cared for, fed, and trained using positive reinforcement. Other programs, Russia is reported to have revived its own dolphin program with pens located in the Black Sea. And that's the word on the street is that the dolphins in Iran are from Russia. They're from Russia. It's a crazy, crazy story. Brian in Madison, what's up, man?
Well, I'm sorry, bro. Can you hear this siren going on?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Hit me with what you got.
Well, I just want to comment on Rubio and all the hopefully the succession plan of the GOP for the next, long time. I think he's better than Vance. I like Vance, but I'd almost do an age discrimination deal here and call it Rubio and then Vance Hegseth. I think Hegseth is acting more presidential all the time too. And then I wouldn't be against Caroline Leavitt someday being something big in an administration bigger than she is. I think she's very sharp. Of course, at her age, how old do you have to be president? 40 something.
I think it's like 30. Is it 35?
Okay.
I think it's 35.
Okay, 35.
I'll tell you what, I don't see Caroline Leavitt yet, but there is one former press secretary that I think would be great, and that's Sarah Huckabee Sanders. If you want me to vote for a woman, I think she's been awesome as the governor of Arkansas. She outlawed China from buying farmland. She's super tough and super smart. I mean, it's in her bloodline. I think Huckabee Sanders would be actually one of the picks that I had for VP before it was Vance. One of my favorites was Huckabee Sanders. I think that she would be fantastic in a higher profile job as well.
Well, I kind of agree, but I'm not real big on her daddy. You said it's in the bloodline. That takes away from her, I think, a little bit. I think she's got more dog in her than he does.
Yeah.
Even though I know it's being a Christian is tough, especially in this world, and it's going to be that way from now till doomsday, I guess, if we have a doomsday. But it's not going to be people kissing Putin's ass. That guy was crazy saying that. Are you kidding me?
So I'm like, he's just that guy's farming content for his YouTube channel, and I'm not with it. But we wish him the best of luck in all his future endeavors.
Well, I don't wish him the best of luck, and I don't like Ted Turner either. I mean, the fact that he died is, he lived a long life. 87 years old is a long time, but he's a liberal, and I didn't like him, and I don't watch his networks
I remember
years ago.
So Trump posted a condolences post on Truth Social, and I was looking at it. I was looking at it during the break, and I appreciate the call, Brian. I was looking at it during the break, and underneath it, people are like, "Man, we miss what CNN used to be," and I'm like, Does anybody forget that they were faking coverage during the first Gulf War? Like, does anybody forget? Like, they have a long history of being a propaganda outlet, even back when Mr. Turner was in charge of the organization. Did love me some WCW, though, so it's not all bad. I heard a story in Jones' newscast that piqued my interest, and I have been anti-cruise ship for a long time, for many, many reasons. But apparently there is a quarantine going on a cruise ship, and this story is wild, and it squirreled me. I went off the reservation, and I had to find the information on it.
What? Chris Hand squirreled?
A deadly outbreak of the rare hentavirus unfolded over the course of weeks on a cruise ship that sailed from Argentina toward Antarctica, and then across the Atlantic Ocean. Here's my thought. They got too close to the ice wall, and they were repelled with direct energy weapons.
I was going to say a dormant disease melted from the ice and jumped aboard on the ship.
Maybe it was the dragon that's out there frozen.
That's what it was.
He finally got out. It could be any of those things. But seriously though, cruise ships are floating prisons. I can never understand why people go on these things for fun. This is another example of how terrifying your nice cruise can become. Nearly a month has passed between when an elderly man fell sick and died in the South Atlantic and laboratory tests in South Africa, more than 3,500 kilometers away. From confirmed hentavirus infections. 3 passengers in total have died. 1 is in intensive care in a South African hospital. 3 other people still on the cruise ship have shown symptoms and were waiting for evacuations. Nearly 150 passengers and crew members from 23 countries were on the ship, which is waiting off the coast of West Africa. That is terrifying. That's nightmare fuel. I never want to be on a cruise ship ever. No, thank you. Nope, not a fan. All right, there's a lot of other stuff to get to. There's a lot of fraud in the country. I think everybody's aware. It's all 50 states. It's not just blue states. It's red states as well. But the blue states, they don't want to cooperate. They want to take credit. Governor Walz over there in Minnesota, don't you know, he's taking credit for the accountability of the FBI raids on locations such as the Quality Learning Center. But then they're suing to not release records and not cooperate at the exact same time. It's an absolute mess. But Ilhan Omar, she might be finding herself in some real hot water now. It could be reaching a boiling point. You see, she was tied to the Feeding Our Futures scandal, which was about $250 million in fraud. And she had a deadline yesterday to turn over email records to a state committee in Minnesota to show what she knew or what she didn't know. The emails are pretty interesting because it involves all the guys that were committing the fraud. And one of the email chains, the subject was Ilhan's office. She had to turn these emails over yesterday, but she has refused to turn over all the documents to the Minnesota Fraud Committee regarding her involvement in this scandal. And this is a wild story. Could Ilhan Omar finally be facing some accountability?
Squad Democrat Ilhan Omar closing in on a deadline set by Minnesota Republicans to turn over documents about potential ties to a state fraud ring after she dodged a hearing last month. Our senior correspondent Mike Tobin is reporting live out of Chicago. He's got the latest details for us. Hey, Mike.
And Sandra, that deadline is today for Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar to turn over documents and communication tied to defendants in that massive Feeding Our Future scandal. The Minnesota House Committee on Fraud Prevention and State Agency Oversight is holding its last meeting of the legislative session today. However, the committee does not have enough votes to subpoena the Congresswoman, so the committee doesn't have a legal mechanism to compel Omar to cooperate. The chair of the committee has sent Omar multiple invitations and requests for documents. Omar does not respond.
When the state doesn't have the authority to actually hold her feet to the fire, is this the time for a federal investigation? I think we're past that time. I think that we should sic the anti-fraud task force on Ilhan Omar and demand these documents, because if you or I were involved with any of this kind of stuff, we would be facing 3 hots in a cot and some nice new bracelets. But Ilhan Omar, she's allowed to get away with all of this stuff, and it is infuriating.
Omar now sponsored the 2020 Meals Act, which removed the guardrails on COVID relief money and helped the fraud run up to $250 million. Despite that, the chair of the Fraud Prevention Committee does not anticipate the Minnesota congressman will respond by the deadline.
It shows her continued disdain for the taxpayers. She feels like she's above having to answer for her involvement in the fraud and her responsibility as a member of Congress who, she passed the bill that took the guardrails off the school nutrition program that led to the conditions that enabled Feeding Our Future.
Now, Amy Bach was convicted as the mastermind of the Feeding Our Future scandal. Defendants billed the government never provided through existing restaurants and sham companies. Now, in Bach's trial, Omar's name appeared in an email chain with Bach. Trial evidence showed text communication with Bach and Omar. Trial evidence also showed Bach exchanged emails with one of the defendants who fled the country. The title of that email chain was Ilhan's Office.
Again, I'm so tired of these Democrat politicians being able to get away with anything and everything under the sun, while you or I would be raked over the coals. Ilhan Omar should face accountability for so much. This is just the tip of the iceberg, the Feeding Our Future scandal. She should also be facing federal investigations into marriage fraud, immigration fraud. She should be answering questions about that dissolved winery and the financial disclosures. Ilhan Omar should not be a congresswoman in the United States of America. Full stop. She probably shouldn't even be a citizen. And if she's convicted of fraud on any level, she should be denaturalized and deported. And I'm pissed that it has taken this long to even get to the point where we are now, where they're calling for these records. Ilhan Omar doesn't like the country. She doesn't represent the country. And she probably shouldn't even be in the country. It's 1021. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults. They're our veteran-owned, family-run safe and vault door business right here in Middle Tennessee. Everybody wants a safe. Everybody knows they need a safe, but some safes are built for marketing. They're built to entice you, but it's a safe that can be tipped over and pried open by a teenager. That is not a real safe. We need to get a real safe, but you don't really even know where to start, and we've been putting it off because we got to figure out which one, where to buy it, where to put it, how to get it installed. You see, Aaron and his sons are going to take care of all of these headaches. For starters, you can jump over on their YouTube page, search Parker Safes on YouTube, get a detailed video review of every safe that they have in stock. Right now, they have some great safes, great deals as well. American Security, Rhino, Liberty, Heyman. Pick which one you want. Talk to Aaron. They'll tell you the best place to put it. They'll deliver it. They'll carefully install it. Don't put it off any longer. Call my friend Aaron Parker today. 931-842-6445. 931-842-6445. And for a limited time only, if you buy a safe from my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults, you'll get a free pistol safe while supplies last. Check them out today. The inventory is online. ParkerSafes.com.
A new congressional map is now on the table at the state capitol. That's coming up here at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. It's 25 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Hey, how are you? Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Mason Fleming's producing. Is that what we call it these days? What?
I feel like you would call it slacking.
He's slacking back there. He's training again.
I'm training.
You're constantly training.
It's like I'm good at what I do sometimes.
He's everyone's favorite trainee.
Trainer.
Yeah. The guy next to you is the trainee.
Correct.
All right. How's he doing?
He's doing pretty good.
Are you impressed?
I am impressed.
Are you just saying that because he's in the room with you?
Maybe. I'll never tell.
Tell me what you really think off the air, all right?
We'll get into it.
All right, perfect. We were talking about fraud. There needs to be some investigations into Ilhan Omar. There needs to be some massive arrests. We need to see some fruit on this tree before we get to midterms. I think this is a winning issue for the conservatives when it comes to the midterms. Dr. Oz revealed just yesterday that $100 billion in fraud has taken place in Medicare and Medicaid alone.
$500 billion, let's say in a budget, if I wanted to stop all this fraud and all this corruption like you're doing, and getting help from DOJ, maybe somebody would go to the pokey. You could be talking, what, $400 billion, $500 billion?
Just within Medicare and Medicaid, just in those programs alone, not the whole healthcare system, it's $100 billion. We will double the life expectancy of the Medicare Trust Fund if we take the fraud out. That's massive.
Yeah, huge. I mean, we could probably balance the budget in this country if we eliminated all the fraud. There is so much. It is in every corner, every crevice of the federal government. It's disgusting. I will say this, though. The J.D. Vance task force, they're working hard, and they just announced an immediate investigation into a massive migrant fraud scheme in Ohio with one Medicaid home health building housing 94 companies and stealing $66 million. This is a place that they say provides free butlers to immigrants. Vance said these allegations are shocking. If true, it shows why the fraud task force work is so important. This is the video that went viral. A guy talking about this building in Ohio.
No windows on the outside helps hide the fact that there's nobody inside. But when you go in, it's really obvious. The place is deserted. It's downright creepy. There is no one in any of the offices. They're dark. Curtains are drawn. Some of them have notes that are like, "We'll be back in a few minutes," and you can tell it's been that way for months.
We'll be right back. Months later. So it's like the SpongeBob meme. 4 months later. Same note. Nobody's there. But they're milking and bilking the U.S. taxpayer to the tune of millions of dollars. Again, Vance is now looking into that. The fraud task force is doing work. Assistant Attorney General Colin McDonald is demanding that blue states stop suing them when it comes to their fraud investigations. One of the states doing so is Minnesota. Of course, Governor Walz takes credit for a lot of the accountability that's happening with the FBI raids in Minnesota, but at the same time, he doesn't want anybody looking into it.
That we are putting onto this problem. With respect to Governor Walz, I see that he has a newfound interest, and I would say that if he is truly serious about solving the fraud problem, then he should stop suing in court. He should, in fact, turn over the information that would help maximize and accelerate investigations. This includes information with respect to SNAP fraud in his state. This includes information that's been long sought with respect to voter rolls in his state. So if he is truly serious about getting into this game, then he should engage with us on those issues and actually provide information that would turbocharge the investigations in his.
So that's Colin McDonald. He's the Assistant Attorney General directly in charge of fraud now. He's the first of his kind in the United States government. The fraud task force is working. We just did Ohio. We talked about Minnesota. They've also launched a West Coast strike group to go after healthcare fraud schemes. Assistant Attorney General Colin McDonald was talking about this as well on Fox News.
That we are placing in the Northern District of California, in the District of Nevada, and in the District of Arizona. And this will be 10 or so additional prosecutors on top of the teams that we already have in place. They will be responsible for rooting out, in particular, healthcare fraud that is rampant in these districts. Our decision making for where to scale these resources is driven by data. And we look to the data to see where are the soft spots, where are the places where criminals are exploiting and hiding behind the cloak of healthcare to commit fraud. And these 3 jurisdictions have been identified as places that we really need to put some quick focus on.
Well, I hope the focus is there, but I hope the investigations lead to some arrests, some high-profile arrests. I don't want just the middlemen. I don't want the low-level goons that are doing this. I want the masterminds. I feel like Brad Pitt in Inglourious Bastards. I feel like I just want my scalps. And when it comes to the fraud in America, trillions upon trillions of dollars, I want scalps, and I'm pretty sure you do as well. It's 10:30. This is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Tennessee Republicans releasing a proposed map of new congressional districts in the state. It comes after the House and Senate worked on unifying their ideas. Tennessee House Speaker Cameron Sexton with Dan Mandis this morning.
On the House side, we have Doug Himes, who helps us with the maps, and on the Senate side, they hired people to help them with the maps, and we both sides sat down and said, here's what we're thinking, here's what we're thinking. And then we worked through it over the next little bit. In this instance, we had to work through it in 24, 36 hours or so. So, last night we kind of merged the two. It's a combination of both. We took some of what the Senate wanted, some with what the House wanted, and we're in a very good place.
That map has been released after a brief meeting this morning. With Project Freedom on hold, there's a renewed hope of a pending deal between the U.S. and Iran And ABC's Tom Soufi-Burge says China may have had a hand in it.
Today, the Iranian foreign minister is in Beijing for important meetings. So that is another part of this. And it seems that there is a diplomatic push. The diplomatic push is back on to try and get a deal. There is some reporting by Axios. We have not confirmed this, but they're suggesting that there will be a sort of interim deal, a memorandum of understanding with the nuclear issue kind of postponed and further talks further down the road on that issue.
And in other news, Ted Turner, the founder of CNN, TNT, and TBS, has died. An amazing life. He owned the Atlanta Braves, built the World Championship Wrestling, and reintroduced bison to the American West. He even has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
This is a hoot for me. I'm really excited about it. I didn't get here for my acting ability, even though I had a cameo appearance in both Gettysburg and Gods and Generals.
Ted Turner also attended a private boys' prep school in Chattanooga. He suffered from Lewy body dementia, diagnosed 7 years ago. Ted Turner was 87. That's the latest news. Stick around for weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Glock store. You know the open house is coming, right? Saturday, May 30th, and we got a favor to ask you. More on that in a second. The 6th annual open house, it's always a great time. I was there last year and the year before. There's always lots to do, but there's always lots to win. So last year, they doubled down on the raffle, and they gave away over $25,000 worth of great gear, which was 3 Glocks, which was the big prizes, in one day, in 4 hours. Twice as much gear as the year before. It's a lot of raffling. Well, the vendors are so excited about what they have in store this year that it looks like the Glock store is going to be doubling down again. Currently, they have over $50,000 worth of great gear to give away in one day, in 4 hours. I'm not good at math, but what's that, $12,500 per hour? I think that's $12,500 per hour. From Red Dot Optics to Radian Ramjets, if it's the latest and greatest, they're giving it away on May 30th. So the favor that they got to ask you, let's just show up. Just come to the open house on Saturday, May 30th, and win something. Now, the earlier you get there, the less raffle tickets that will be in the bucket, which means you have a better chance of winning something and winning early. Glock Store's 6th annual open house happening May 30th, 10 to 2, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, and always open online, glockstore.com. 37 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to the show on all the apps, the FM dial. You can watch us as well on YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe. I was watching last night on CNN the governor's debate for California. And essentially, it was Chad Bianco, Steve Hilton versus all the Democrats and the CNN moderators. But there were some really good moments, like some real gems. And I think that if we were to amplify these messages, it actually plays out pretty well across the entire country. It's not just a California thing. There was many, many moments that are viral worthy. For starters, Chad Bianco, I think that's how you say his name, Chad Bianco, Sheriff Bianco, who's running. He was going at it with Javier Becerra, and Javier was really playing up how evil ICE is. By the way, they have a new logo incoming. I'll show you in a second on the YouTube stream.
Nice.
They're nice guys. So Mr. Becerra said that there's a couple protesters dead in Minnesota for doing their civic duty. Their civic duty, you say? Well, the sheriff on the stage didn't take too kindly to that.
Secretary Becerra, on the question itself, do you also support prosecuting the leadership of ICE?
I think we should police Donald Trump's masked mercenary force that they call ICE. I think we should prosecute any of the forces that violate the law. And I think we should jail anyone who has violated the law. That goes all the way to the top. If anyone has violated the laws of California, they should serve time.
So this is how all the Democrats think. Make no mistake about it. And we've heard it from Governor Walz, Governor Pritzker, Governor Hochul. This is like a prerequisite if you want to be a Democrat governor in a blue state. But Sheriff Bianco, who wants to be the governor as a Republican, didn't take too kindly to this at all.
Serve time.
And I'm telling you, no one has.
That's, there are two people who are dead in Minneapolis because they were simply doing their civic duty and being able to
Your
act
civic
under
duty
the
is
Constitution.
bringing a gun and fighting with cops. Your civic duty is to try and run over cops. Come on.
Well,
You've already been called
obviously
out.
have
Your other
keepers
Democrats.
brought guns to the Capitol,
Mr. Bianco. Let's just be honest.
Let's be honest. I love the pushback. I love that California actually has two candidates polling pretty high that are all about common sense. The other one that is about common sense is Steve Hilton. And Steve Hilton may have had just a mic drop moment. They were going at him because he has Trump's endorsement. They've been going at him for that for a while. But he ripped them because they were blaming Donald Trump for all the problems of California. And I want California to succeed. I think California is a beautiful state that has been absolutely ruined by Democrat policies. But they don't want to blame Gavin Newsom. They don't want to blame Karen Bass. They don't want to blame the policies that have been in effect for years for ruining the state. They want to blame the orange man. And Steve Hilton absolutely dismantles this argument in about 30 seconds.
Mr. Hilton, go ahead.
It's not Donald Trump who's given us gas prices $2 higher than the rest of the country. It's Democrat policies, which Antonio and all the Democrats here support. It's not Donald Trump that's given us the highest housing costs in the country. It's Democrat policies that all these Democrats support. Donald Trump is the president in all the other states of America where the cost of living is way lower than in California. Obviously, it is way past time for change in California, and endlessly going on about Donald Trump doesn't serve the needs of the struggling families and small businesses.
Can you say whether or not?
I mean, he's an absolute beast, and he's so right. Guys, you want to blame Donald Trump for the problems of California? Well, then why don't other states who also have Donald Trump as their president have the problems of California? Well, it's because states like Tennessee haven't enacted dumbass California liberal policies. Don't California my Tennessee to everybody that's moved here. It's the liberal policies that have ruined your state. And you can game that out. We can do Illinois. We can do New York. Every single one of them blame Donald Trump for their issues, but none of them want to take accountability for the policies that they have in place. And then in an eye-opening moment during this debate last night, and then we'll move on, California Governor hopeful Katie Porter, the woman who is just an absolute shrew, rumored to have thrown a pot of boiling hot mashed potatoes on her husband, ex-husband, and was just absolutely nasty to her employees over and over and over again. She said the quiet part out loud. She said that one of the only ways that California has been growing in recent years is illegal aliens. And make no mistake, this is every blue state out there.
Go ahead. It's the job of the California governor to protect every single Californian. The sanctuary state policy is designed to make sure that our state resources, the taxpayer dollars, the public servants that we have are focusing on doing their jobs, which is not cooperating with the federal immigration authorities. These are Californians. They contribute to our economy. They pay taxes, and they're one of the only ways that our state has been growing in recent years.
They're one of the only way our state has been growing in recent years. You have seen a mass exodus out of all these blue states. This is why they're anti-deportation. They have an eye to the 2030 census, where currently, as it stands right now, checking a box if you're a citizen or not is not part of the question. And you're going to have representation based on population. They don't want to lose these illegal aliens because their population would plummet. And they're going so far in California that Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass just spent about $250,000 of taxpayer money to put up signs around L.A. parks declaring city property and the parks off limits to ICE. Now, this holds no legal weight when it comes to federal authority, but they spent the money on it anyway, and L.A. local news had the call. Check this out.
Well, Christine, there's more than 450 of these signs now posted across the city. Just take a look at this one. Some people like them, while the feds call them politics.
There goes the sign right there.
A bold message now posted across Los Angeles. Signs going up declaring city property off limits for ICE.
The signs have no legal weight, force, or effect on anything the federal government does.
Federal authorities firing back, saying the words are just that.
Federal agents will go anywhere they need to go to enforce federal law, city property included.
At Lafayette Park, most people say they didn't notice the sign, but support the idea.
There's people's families out here, dude, and that's not right, man.
The message. There's people's families out here, dude. Bruh, that's people's families. Send them all. Whole family can go, actually. I don't know why you would defend illegal aliens other than power, and that's why these Democrats are doing that. They want the representation. They don't want to lose the population before the 2030 census, but I don't understand how you can continue doing this. There are states where they're fighting back against illegal immigration, and we're happy for that. Tennessee is one of them. But how these Democrats can look the other way and pretend, well, there's families out here, but then you hear the horror stories, and you're like, what about American families? I saw a story just the other day. Another Biden-imported illegal alien raped a 10-year-old girl. Guess where? Inside her own elementary school. What about this 10-year-old girl? What about her families? Do Democrat voters think about this?
Inside Orangewood Elementary, in the middle of a school day, a man with a documented history as a convicted sex offender walked onto campus and sexually assaulted a 10-year-old girl. According to this newly filed 13-page notice of claim, 25-year-old Abel Blah wasn't a stranger to the system. His convictions and probation violations should have triggered action long before he made it anywhere near a child.
He shouldn't have been in the country in the first place. He shouldn't have. But Democrats would rather protect individuals like this because it helps them hold on to power. I am convinced.
This notice details how he managed to bypass security measures at the school, entering through the front office, making his way inside while classes were still actively in session.
Insane.
It's unclear what time or how he got past front office staff, but the notice of claim alleges the first account of him in the hallway was 11:40 a.m. Then a 10-year-old girl on her way to the school nurse saw Blah. At 11:46, Blah allegedly redirected her to an empty, unlocked music room. Around 11:50, the girl fought him off and escaped. Then from 11:50 to 11:55, Blah leaves the classroom and school on foot. Police later arrested him at his home.
Absolutely horrifying, and this is what Democrats are defending when they're demonizing ICE. ICE's job is to take these animals and get them off the streets and out of the country. The Democrats are making it harder for ICE to do their job. And as Katie Porter, the governor hopeful of California, said, quite obviously, it's the only reason that California is growing is the illegal aliens. They need the illegal aliens. They need them for the power. They need them for the census in 2030. And it's disgusting. It's happening all over the country in these blue states. In Virginia, they arrested a Biden-released illegal alien. He was accused of raping a child after Virginia officials released him from jail. May 1st, ICE agents arrested illegal alien Walvin Victor Hugo Garcia of Guatemala following a court appearance in Fairfax County. Hugo Garcia was first arrested by Fairfax County law enforcement in June of last year on felony charges of raping a child younger than 13 years old, aggravated sexual battery of a child younger than 13, using a computer to commit sexual crime against a minor, and distributing drugs to a minor. ICE agents then lodged the detainer when he was arrested, but officials in Fairfax County, Virginia, they refused to honor the detainer, and he was allowed to walk out of court. And they tell us that this is the most humane way to do it, that this is the loving, caring way to do things. When children are getting raped, that ICE are the bad guys. Miss me with the BS. They say Governor Spanberger and her fellow sanctuary politicians in Fairfax, Virginia, refused to cooperate with ICE and released this child rapist from jail back onto the streets. The Department of Homeland Security's Lauren Biss said in a statement that Governor Spanberger, Fairfax sanctuary politicians are playing Russian roulette with American lives, releasing criminals from jail into American neighborhoods. She's absolutely right. This illegal alien in Virginia, he was released into the United States in October of 2023 after having crossed the southern border near Eagle Pass, Texas. The Biden administration released him into the U.S., and in February of last year, he was ordered to be deported by a federal immigration judge. None of that mattered to Fairfax County officials. Well, because their hearts are too big, guys. Will someone think of the illegal aliens? Will anyone think they have families, bruh? Isn't that what that guy said in the news report? He did. He said they got families, bruh. Come on, bruh. These illegal aliens have families.
Those families out here, dude, and that's not right, man.
Is it okay if these illegal aliens with families are raping minors? Are they allowed to rape minors because they have families? And so, can somebody make sense of that to me? Anybody? I don't think the Democrats can make much sense of it, and I don't think they even get pressed on these kind of stories. They don't have to answer for the results of their policies. It's absolutely disgusting. I hope that the people of California wake up and they realize what's going on and what time it is, and somebody like Steve Hilton or Chad Bianco gets in as governor. I think that that's probably an uphill battle, but I can hope and I can pray, because that state is being absolutely devastated by lousy Democrat politics, and the people of California are less safe because of it. It's 10:50. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. And if your home right now today is not as comfortable as it should be, it's probably time to call my friends at Busy Bee. And honestly, it's probably the best time to do it because they have some strong offers going on today. Right now, you can get special financing on a new HVAC system with up to 12 months with no payments and no interest. No prepayment penalties either. And approvals will vary by credit, but it does give you some breathing room, and that's always appreciated. Now, here's the bonus. If you install a high-efficiency system, we're talking 17 SEER or higher, they'll throw in a free Yeti Tundra 45 cooler just in time for beach season. Not a bad deal at all. Now, if you're more focused on air quality, you can check out their Healthy Hive package, which includes an electronic air cleaner, a whole home UV system. Normally, excuse me, I'm like choking. The deals are so good, I'm losing my breath. Normally it's about $2,800, but as of right now, you can get it installed for $2,299. They'll even handle the TVA rebates for you, so you can get up to $800 back on mini splits, $500 to $800 on heat pumps, and $50 back on AC tune-ups, and they do all the paperwork. All you do is save money. If you got got plumbing issues, they got deals there too. $300 off whole home drain repipes, $500 off water distribution repipes. So whether it's heating, cooling, or plumbing, my friends at Busy Bee have you covered. 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, busybeehvac.com. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults. You hear me talk about these guys all the time. In fact, you might have heard me talk about them a little while ago. It's because they got some amazing deals going on right now. These are our veteran-owned, family-run safe and vault door business right here in Middle Tennessee, based in Shelbyville, but that's not another country. They serve all of Middle Tennessee and even some surrounding states. So let's be honest. A lot of us want a safe, but we've been putting it off because we got to figure out which one to buy, where to put it, how to get it installed. Aaron and his boys are going to help you with this every step of the way. For starters, you can jump on YouTube, search Parker Safes, find a detailed video review of every safe that they have in stock. From there, they'll help you figure out if that is the best safe for your needs and your budget. They'll offer advice on the best place to put it. They'll deliver it, and they'll carefully install it. Aaron told me he's got some great deals going on right now. Not big box store cabinets that can be tipped over by a teenager, but real safes from brands like American Security, Rhino, Liberty, Heyman, and more. Don't put it off any longer. Call my friend Aaron today, 931-842-6445, 931-842-6445. It's Parker Safes and Vaults. And when you mention my name, Chris Hand, in the Chris Hand Show, you'll get a free pistol safe when you buy a safe while supplies last. ParkerSafes.com.
All right, drivers got a crash blocking the left shoulder, 40 westbound before Elm Hill Pike overpass. Whites Creek, Briley Parkway westbound at Brick Church Pike. Special legislative session. Tennessee state lawmakers say they've got two maps that they're going to be looking at today that could redraw Tennessee's congressional makeup. We'll let you know about that coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I got a text from my wife during that last segment. She said, "What about our families?" Amen. Amen. Democrats don't care. Spoiler alert. She knows.
Shocker.
I've laid that out a few times at the house.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
On multiple topics. Democrats don't care.
Don't care.
I mean, there's a lot of headaches in the world, right? with, I understand that families are going through it. Gas prices are high, and people are, questioning, is Donald Trump doing what we voted for? I would just point out, man, the alternative would be so much worse. And we do have to keep that in mind as we head towards midterms. There's a lot wrong in this country. I had mentioned this a little while ago. A new NICE logo just dropped. As we're renaming ICE. It's going to be NICE, National Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. That way, when the news is forced to talk about us, our boys out there and gals doing that good work, they have to say nice agents instead of ICE agents. The logo's up on the screen if you're watching on Super Talk TV. I retweeted it as well at Chris Hand on Air. If you find me on X, looks good, looks nice, looks pretty sick. National Immigrations Customs Enforcement. I hope they do actually officially change the name. It would be fun. It would be fun to do. Elsewhere, there are some calls surging for Ilhan Omar to face federal investigations. We talked about this earlier. Minnesota Fraud Chair Rep. Kristen Robbins reveals that Ilhan Omar is entangled in a web of fraud and that the Democrats in her state blocked the subpoena. This happened moments ago on Fox News. We talked about this a little while ago. Ilhan Omar, she had a Tuesday deadline to turn over some documents related to the Feeding Our Future fraud scandal. There's no real teeth in that. There was no subpoena power there. So people are calling for the feds to step in.
Once again, are trying to protect their political base and their political benefactors. And we should have had a unanimous vote in committee yesterday to subpoena those documents of communication between Representative Omar and the Feeding Our Future defendants. And it's disgraceful that they don't even want to get the information.
There is some curiosity around not just this chapter of Ilhan Omar's life, but all that money that either was or was not in her coffers. In the midst of this investigation, Omar's wealth suddenly plunged from an estimated $30 million to just under $90,000. Omar blamed an accounting error for the net worth discrepancy.
I mean, that happens all the time. I was doing my taxes at H&R Block. They said, Mr. Hand, how much are you worth? I said, $400 million. And then it turns out, I had no idea. It was $4. So.
Oh.
But it was an accounting error. It's all good.
Move that decimal point a couple many spaces over.
My bad.
Decimal points are hard. She's never going to be held accountable, is she?
No.
Thanks for the positivity, Mason. It's 11 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's what I'm here for.
$11 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Tennessee, special legislative session. Speaker Cameron Sexton telling WTN's Nashville's Morning News with Dan Bandis, Republicans in the House and Senate are on the same page with new proposed congressional maps he says reflect recent U.S. Supreme Court rulings and remove race from the process.
The court said that we can draw these maps for purely partisan purposes, meaning Republican, Democrat, and that's what we're doing. And we feel comfortable where we're at.
Well, Democrats are arguing the efforts aimed at weakening the state's only black majority district in Memphis. The map heads to the committee hearings today with final floor votes expected by tomorrow. War with Iran. President Trump says Project Freedom has been disbanded due to what he says is a pending deal with the Iranians. We get more from ABC's Tom Sufi Burridge in Tel Aviv.
Today, the Iranian foreign minister is in Beijing for important meetings. So that is another part of this. And it seems that there is a diplomatic push. The diplomatic push is back on to try and get a deal. There is some reporting by Axios. We have not confirmed this, but they're suggesting that there will be a sort of interim deal, a memorandum of understanding with the nuclear issue kind of postponed and further further talks further down the road on that issue.
What about gas prices, Rebecca Jarvis?
The actual price of gasoline is not expected to decline anytime soon, and that is because of what's happened to our oil and gasoline inventories here in the U.S. Record amounts of these products have left the country in the last week as foreign buyers have been forced to find alternative sources. Our gasoline inventories now are at multi-year lows, which means prices will face even more upward pressure heading into the summer.
Gas Buddy putting the average price per gallon in Middle Tennessee today at $4.25. And you got to get paid to fill those tanks. Jim Ryan has the latest hiring report.
Job creation blew past economists' expectations in April, according to payroll processor ADP, with private employers adding 109,000 positions. ADP says continued strength in the healthcare sector, along with a rebound in trade, transportation, and utilities, fueled the fastest pace of job growth since January of 2025.
Entertainment news. Stones celebrating the announcement of their new album, Foreign Tongues, at a launch party in Brooklyn, New York. On the red carpet, Mick Jagger telling ABC Radio how Foreign Tongues is different than Hackney Diamonds.
Somehow it's a continuation of Hackney Diamonds in a way, because it's the same personnel, but it is somehow, I don't know in what way it's different. I'm too close to it to be able to say how different it is, but it is slightly different. The songs are different. There's more variation, I think.
Now, this album drops July 10th. It's the Stones' second with producer Andrew Watt after 2023's Hackney Diamonds. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can join the show any way you'd like, 615-737-9986, or you can text in. You can jump in the chat on YouTube or Rumble. We appreciate you joining us however you'd like. Thank you for doing so. Lisa in Mount Juliet wants to talk about Ilhan Omar and accountability. Welcome to the show, Lisa. How are you?
I'm doing good. Chris, how are you?
I'm good. What do you got?
So I just wanted to tell you that we need to speak positive words because we keep saying she's never going to be held accountable. We need to say she is going to be held accountable because our words are powerful. God spoke the world. So maybe if everybody starts saying that, maybe she will be held accountable.
I feel like I've had so much hopium on powerful politicians being held accountable that I almost want to hedge my bets so I don't let myself down.
That's okay, but we can still be. It's like it doesn't matter what you can be positive about it or negative. But I think I've just experienced it in my life when I speak the truth and I speak it comes to fruition. So I just would like for everybody to start thinking that way, and maybe it'll happen because it needs to happen.
I agree that it needs to happen, and
You're a Christian.
I hear you. I hear you. It's tough sometimes. I appreciate the call, though, Lisa. I will say this. There are other Democrats being held accountable. In fact, this story is pretty cool. The Democrat Senate President pro tempore, Louise Lucas, has been a target of 10 FBI raids across Virginia, and it has to do with her cannabis businesses. Check this out.
Back to this, and now we can. Federal agents are arresting people in that string of FBI raids across Virginia. This is all connected to an influential Democrat in the Commonwealth of Virginia, State Senator Louise Lucas. They are at her office executing warrants as a part of a major corruption probe. So I want to go back now to Alex Hogan, who's there. Alex.
Hi, Harris. So you can still see that the FBI are behind me. We've been seeing them throughout the morning, bringing boxes in and out. They also told staff members they needed to leave the building. We heard some of those employees coming out saying that they were told they had to leave and they were not allowed back inside. I do want to give you some context of where we are. The FBI not only arriving here at this location, but also at the dispensary, the cannabis dispensary just across the parking lot. And this is a look at what it looked like earlier today with the FBI agents arriving, SWAT teams getting out of their vehicles with weapons, telling people inside that cannabis dispensary to put their hands up and to come outside. At least 3 people were taken into custody. Federal law enforcement say that they're carrying out these court-authorized criminal search warrants at more than 10 locations across the state. Again, this is the State Senator Louise Lucas's office behind me, but we're also learning that she is connected to this dispensary here. Senator Lucas is president pro tem, meaning she's one of the highest and most powerful figures in the entire state legislature. And when she arrived here, I asked her about being here as the FBI raided these locations. Take a listen. Is there anything that they can say about what they're doing?
I don't know what's going on. I just came from another report, so I'm just gonna wait until they tell me.
She said, I have no idea what's going on. Louise Lucas is 82. She has been a state senator since 1992, one of Virginia's most influential Democrats. She's also a close ally of Governor Abigail Spanberger. And apparently she played a major role in recent redistricting efforts and budget fights. But this goes to her marijuana business. They say Virginia legalized simple possession of marijuana in 2021, but has repeatedly failed to create a fully regulated retail market for adult use sales. Lucas, the senator here in question, Louise Lucas, has been a key sponsor and advocate for legalization bills, including efforts in 2025 and 2026 to set up retail sales tax frameworks and resentencing relief for prior convictions. Now, she co-owns a cannabis outlet in Portsmouth, Virginia on High Street. Perfect. Right near her office, which they're also raiding. And they say this creates immediate optic issues. The past issues with the cannabis outlet, they say, in 2022, investigations found the store was selling mislabeled or over THC products, including hemp-derived Delta-8, Delta-9, items that skirted federal state rules at the time. Products were marked with high THC claims, but they didn't match labels, raising safety concerns. Lucas has described it as selling hemp products and CBD. The current FBI raids today, 10 search warrants in Virginia as part of a federal corruption investigation. Targets included Lucas's office in Portsmouth, the adjacent neighboring cannabis outlet dispensary. Reports describe SWAT team, tactical teams with weapons drawn, people exiting with their hands up, multiple arrests. No details on who and what the charges are. That's still emerging. But she arrived on the scene. She said she didn't know what was happening. Broader context is that Lucas has faced prior controversies, including a 2020 felony charge later dropped related to a protest at Confederate Monument in Portsmouth. Questions about her business, Lucas Lodge LLC, have been raised in the past, and these raids appear tied to an alleged corruption involving her political influence, the dispensary's operations, and possible violations around cannabis sales and regulation. This is just breaking now, so we'll keep you updated as more information becomes available. At least, as Lisa said, be positive. Some Democrats are being held accountable in some places, so we're here for it. I like Democrats being held accountable. In the meantime, Jeff in Nashville wants to weigh in on something. What's up, Jeff? How are you?
Yes, sir. What you just said, I echo that same.
Hey, Jeff, I'm sorry, man. It's just really windy where you are. I couldn't make you out quite well. We'll put you on hold, and hopefully you can get to a better spot with better cell phone service, and we'll take that call again. Would love to talk to you. So weigh in. Elsewhere, are Republicans finally going to have the stones to nuke the filibuster? Can we finally talk about nuking the filibuster? There was some really big damage done during the last shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security by Democrats, and we have Democrats on record now saying that they're willing to shut down the government again before midterms. When you break down what was lost during the Democrat shutdown, it's actually appalling, especially when you understand how crazy it is in this country right now with the conflict with Iran, with the terror threats, with the illegal aliens that we have in the country that are raping minors. We need to fund DHS, but the losses have been massive since the last shutdown.
As it struggles with staff shortages in key agencies following the longest partial government shutdown in U.S. history. Our congressional correspondent Bill Malusian's reporting live with an update on Capitol Hill for us. Hi, Bill.
Sandra, good afternoon to you. As you mentioned, that DHS shutdown was the longest in agency history. We're talking a total of 76 days. And now we're getting a better picture of what kind of long-term damage that did to DHS. DHS tells Fox News that TSA lost about 1,100 employees as a result of the shutdown. 1,100 people quit. That represents 8% of their overall workforce. And they say it can take 4 to 6 months to train any new TSA hires before they can be deployed to airports. So any new TSA agents likely can't even be staffed in time for the FIFA World Cup and America 250 events later this summer. And the numbers they're expecting are huge. DHS tells Fox News they're anticipating between 5 and 7 million global travelers to come to the U.S. for the FIFA World Cup alone, which they say is the equivalent of hosting 78 Super Bowls in 11 different American cities. In a statement, DHS tells Fox, quote, "For 76 days, we saw Democrats use American travelers and TSA officers as pawns. This pointless, reckless shutdown caused more than 1,100 TSA officers to quit. The Democrat shutdown jeopardized the deployment of vital equipment and services, such as next-generation checkpoint screening technology, putting security and efficiency at risk for the 2026 summer travel season, the World Cup, and America's 250th anniversary." And DHS says the shutdown also had a big impact on FEMA. Critical training for about 45,000 students every week, including firefighters, EMTs, was postponed due to a lack of funding. That includes all classes at the National Fire Academy and Center for Domestic Preparedness. FEMA wasn't able to participate in coordination events such as the National Hurricane Conference. FEMA had to operate with limited system maintenance, software licensing, and cybersecurity monitoring. That ended up impacting systems that support disaster response, grants administration, and flood insurance. And Sandra, it doesn't stop there. DHS says their cybersecurity agency, CISA, lost more than 1,000 employees. That, of course, is we're in the middle of a war with Iran, an adversary that's known to use cyber warfare. As for the Coast Guard, they now have a backlog of 18,000 ships that they have to certify and get back out onto the water. That doesn't even include ICE or CBP, which are both still unfunded as I speak to you right now.
And the Democrats don't give a damn at all. I think that what we saw last night with the elections, with the Indiana state legislators, the Indiana Republicans, where they were held accountable for not redistricting and primaried out, this needs to happen now with Senate Republicans that don't want to nuke the filibuster. We need to hold their feet to the fire. We have a limited amount of time where we could keep this power and wield it the way we need to, passing the Save America Act, making sure the government isn't shut down at a time when we need it. And the Senate Republicans just seem unwilling to not drag their feet on this. We need to put their feet to the fire. They need to know that if they don't nuke the filibuster, then what happened to the Indiana state senators will happen to them next. President Trump successfully primaried 5 of those Rhino Indiana state senators out of the 7 races where he endorsed against incumbents who blocked redistricting last night as the election results rolled in. This was a massive victory for MAGA and a really just a spotlight on the fact that we are going to hold our elected officials accountable. Sitting on your hands is not the answer anymore. We need real action and real fight from Republicans, because if we don't get it, well, I mean, the costs as they laid out there are massive. We need that same kind of energy when it comes to nuking the filibuster. And as a bonus, you get the salt from the left. Jen Psaki, Mayor Pete Buttigieg, they were very upset about the Indiana Republicans standing up to President Trump and being held accountable.
We've talked before about sort of what politics could be, what we all hope it will be again. I mean, these Republicans in Indiana, you probably don't agree with them on much. I don't agree with them on much in terms of their policies, but they knew what was coming if they stood up to Trump. They stood up to him anyways. They decided, some of them at least, that there are worse things than losing an election. I just wonder how different you think our country and our politics could be if more Republicans had that in them. And do you think, you've been traveling out there and the country, that there are more of them out there?
I love how she says that. Oh, these poor Republicans, we don't agree on policy, but they stood up to Trump. It's like, no. They stood against the voters. Let's be perfectly clear here. The voters want Republicans with some fight. They want that dog in them, and these Republicans didn't have it. So they went against the will of the people, and the people said, yeah, you're not fit for the job anymore. That's what happened. Plain and simple. But they'll say, oh, they stood up to President Trump, and then this happened. How terrible is that? Pete Buttigieg is like, oh, I talk to Republicans all the time.
I do. I mean, I see it everywhere I go. We have been going to a lot of more conservative areas. We did a town hall in Oklahoma. It was great. We had about 2,000 people come out.
Wow.
I was in Marjorie Taylor Greene's old district where we had hundreds of people come out, and the Democratic candidate overperformed by about 25 points. Headed to Montana soon, and there are a lot of people on all sides of the aisle who are fed up with the role of money in politics and taking action to do something about it. So I do believe a different kind of politics is possible. Look, Democrats are always going to disagree with Republicans. I'm always going to disagree on a lot of issues with Republicans. But if we're all actually talking about what we believe in, that is better than Republicans repeatedly having to feel pressure to either lose their career or do something wrong because the president is demanding it.
Again, it's important to point out that if the president was wrong, the voters wouldn't have aligned with it. But the voters agreed with the president here. The Indiana state senators lost the will of the people, and the will of the people spoke last night loud and clear. Our friend Jeff in Nashville has a bit of a better connection. What's up, Jeff? How are you?
Okay, how you doing?
Good, man. What do you got?
Well, I was calling about the accountability thing. Yeah, I agree with you about what you've said and everything. I kind of, my spin on it, I'd like to see, where the punishment fits the crime, if that makes any sense,
Yeah. When it comes to Ilhan Omar, I think if she is tied to this feeding our future scandal, if the emails prove that, if the immigration fraud is there by marrying her brother, which I believe it is, I think that she needs to be denaturalized and deported. I think that's the only way we can say that the punishment fits the crime. It's 11:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, drivers, we got a crash. Left shoulder block, 40 westbound before Elm Hill Pike overpass. Special legislative session to review congressional maps in Tennessee. We got 2 new proposals going to committee today. That story and more at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Ken Weaver in the newsroom. The headlines on the way in less than 5 minutes. My name is Chris Hanth. Show's brought to you by Super Talk 99. It is, but also Better Water LLC. I would say this is what I do. I'm trying to do 2 things at once, and then I screw up. I'm a one thing at one time kind of guy.
I do it every half hour.
It's true. It's true. Brian Wilson had sent me and Matt Murphy a proposed map for what it might look like with the redistricting. I don't know how the hell you explain it on the radio, but I'll hold it up for you guys that are watching on Super Talk TV.
Oh, yeah.
That's, a lot of squiggly lines.
Am I getting put back in Rutherford County?
I don't know.
They're combining Wilson and Rutherford there?
I mean, it's not counties, it's districts.
I know.
Yeah, what happens? Do we lose Desjardins? I don't know. Because, yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't know. I'm here for it. If we get 9 Republicans, I don't care how we do it. Just make it work.
I know that from what I've heard, apparently this is going to split Memphis in 2.
Yep. I mean, you're going to have one district. It'll be District 5 that would essentially have half of Williamson and then go all around the west of the state and have parts of Shelby.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's a crazy map right there.
Yeah, look at that. It goes, you're right. It starts in parts of Williamson and Rutherford County, and then, like you said, parts of Murray County, and then all of the border counties with Alabama, all the way over to Arkansas, basically.
Yeah, I mean, Murray County is being split in half. Rutherford is losing a little bit to District 9. I don't know. I'd have to look at what the original map was in front of me to really be able to give you a proper explanation.
Yes,
and this is just a proposed map, so we're just, who knows if this is the final one.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. I do like that they got some fight in them. I do. I'm here for it. And I love listening to the liberals scream about racism. Did you see Steve Cohen? He was like, we got some good Democrat representatives, Justin Jones, and Justin Pearson is standing right behind him. And he doesn't even acknowledge him.
That was a little bit of a dig because Pearson was going to unseat him.
Yeah, well, that's what they say. And I was there, and I was under the impression that Justin Pearson would probably easily, because the last thing Democrats like is an old white man. But Democrats have told me that no, that would never happen because even Democrats don't like Justin Pearson.
Oh,
like and these are like Democrat strategists in the state.
Oh,
but this was Cohen yesterday complaining.
The state, you're changing the House of Representatives from the People's House to the Republican Party MAGA's house to the governor's house, and that's not the way government's supposed to be. I'll tell you some stories. When I was a senator, it was from 1982 to 2006, there were more people up here in the Senate and the House that said Memphis should be part of Mississippi. They constantly said it. If it weren't for John Wilder and Jimmy Navy and Ed McWhirter who had power then, Memphis would have suffered more. Right now, Memphis does not have a friend in the higher spaces of government.
Memphis doesn't have a friend in the higher spaces of government. I was under the impression that the federal government stepped in with the Memphis Safe Task Force, and now kids can ride their bikes around Memphis. Memphis doesn't have a friend in high places. It seems like a lot of people care about Memphis. The governor cares about Memphis. The president cares about Memphis. Both Republicans, spoiler alert, and the Democrat leadership in Memphis have let it fall for years.
Well, and one reason you know that is working is the mainstream media is crickets.
You're 100%
on
right.
What is going on in Memphis.
But he kept going, and then we're going to get to the part where he shouts out Justin Jones, and then the crowd's like, come on, what about Pearson?
Got 2 great state senators, and Justin Jones, who's a great state representative. He's the real deal.
And Justin Pearson.
Cool it.
Justin Pearson.
And Justin does a great job. The fact is, Memphis has been eliminated by this Jim Crow bill.
It's so good.
He's just jealous.
I mean, and Justin Pearson, he's got a big smile on his face behind him.
So funny.
He knows exactly what he's doing. But no, I mean, at the end of the day, Representative Cohen is right. This is Jim Crow 11. 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. And right now in Tennessee, special legislative session to review congressional maps. It is day 2. Speaker of the Tennessee House, Cameron Sexton, telling WTN's Nashville's Morning News with Dan Mandis they had lawyers on hand as the House and Senate made changes he says reflect the recent U.S. Supreme Court ruling that removes racial data from the redistricting process.
When the Supreme Court came and they said that, you can basically draw it for Republicans and Democrats, just use partisan politics, nothing wrong with that, then that kind of makes it easier as far as what that looks like.
Well, the possibility Republicans are going to gain a 9th majority by splitting Memphis into 2 districts has Democrats like Knoxville State Rep Sam McKenzie up in arms.
In Tennessee, we like doing things the Tennessee way. This isn't what this is. This is an attempt to just grab numbers.
Well, the proposed changes go before legislative committees today with full floor votes expected tomorrow. And the Trump administration says Operation Epic Fury is over, with the president indicating Iran is close to making a deal to end the war. Here's Rachel Scott.
The president saying he wants to see whether the agreement can be finalized and signed with Iran. Just hours earlier, Secretary of State Marco Rubio dubbing Project Freedom the next stage of the war.
The operation is over. Epic Fury, as the president notified Congress, we're done with that stage of it. Okay, we're now on to this Project of Freedom.
But it's unclear what, if any, progress there's been in negotiations between the U.S. and Iran. It's the latest of several reversals for the war that's now in its 10th week.
And Rebecca Jarvis tells us the price of gasoline's not expected to decline anytime soon, and that's because of what's happened to our oil and gasoline inventories here in the U.S. Record amounts of those products have left the country in the last week as foreign buyers have been forced to find alternative sources. Gas Buddy says here in Middle Tennessee, the average price per gallon today is $4.25. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. If you need some health insurance, whether it's for you, your entire family, your business that you're running, you need to talk to my friend Shane Ring today. If it's just for you and you think you got to wait till the fall, that's a huge myth. You don't have to wait for open enrollment. You can get covered today. Again, no matter what your situation is, no waiting, no gimmicks. You missed open enrollment, no problem. You lost your job coverage. Shane can help you out. If you're sick of overpriced junk insurance, if you don't know if your insurance is overpriced and junk, call Shane Ring today. See, Shane partners with over 75 top-rated insurance companies, including brand-new nationwide PPO options with deductibles as low as $250, flat $50 doctor visits, ACA-compliant plans with free preventative care. Again, plans for individuals, families, self-employed folks, small businesses, you name it. It's time to stop overpaying, stop waiting, and stop thinking you're stuck. You can go to covernash.com and book some time there, or you can pick up the phone and call Shane directly, 615-465-0023. That's 615-465-0023. Cover Nash is getting you health insurance on your terms, not the government's. Covernash.com. 36 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. You can listen to the show on all the apps, the FM dial. You can watch us on YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friend. We do it every day at this time. You ready, Mason? Mason doesn't look ready, so I want to give him a moment because I'm tired of the delayed lightning. I'm tired of the delayed sound effects. My patience is running thin.
Super thin?
Super thin. Okay. Just hit the music.
It's the Lightning Round with Chris Hand.
We do it every day at this time. We run through all the stories we didn't have a chance to get to, stories that wouldn't fill a whole segment, and we like to call it the Lightning Round. There it is. You're on it now. All I have to do is, if I publicly mock him a little bit, I get a lot more effort.
Listen, if I'm training people,
you got to train them the right way.
I'm trying.
You got to do
a little
it.
bit of delay on the lightning. Perfect training.
I love it. All right. I don't know which story I go for first. So the president, I'll do this one first. First story in the lightning round. And I'm just gonna put a video up on the screen. The video has no audio. Okay, I'm not gonna do audio in the video, but I'm putting it up there. The president put together the presidential fitness test again. Did you see that? It's a big deal. But I think that this video, which is going viral, needs to be part of it. Because this guy is peak elite fitness. What this man did in less than 2 minutes is unbelievable. He chugged 2 beers, smokes 2 cigarettes, and solves 2 Rubik's Cubes in under 2 minutes. Is there anything more peak than this?
Up to the president's standards.
It should be up to the president's standards. I knew my wife saw me watching this last night, and she said, I thought you were doing show prep. And I had to say to her, Virginia, this is show prep. So I had to bring it to the table because I can't be lying to my wife.
That's fair.
And he's doing it. We're almost done with 1 Rubik's Cube at 50 seconds in. 1 beer has been chugged, and he's on his 2nd cigarette. It's just,
yeah, for those listening online, he pounded through that first cigarette solo. Like, wasn't even focused on anything else. He was just puffing and going.
He was the human vacuum. 1 Rubik's Cube is solved. We're down to we got the end of a cigarette,
end of a Rubik's Cube,
and he's finishing this last Rubik's Cube. We're at 115. This is peak fitness. 2 Rubik's Cubes done, 2 cigarettes done, and now he's chugging his last beer. Less than 1 minute and 30. All done at 1:28. That's the presidential fitness standards we need. America. That's what we need just in time for the 250.
July 4th, I'm ready.
All right, get ready. I got another story for you in the lightning round. This is the real one. I promise. I had to do that one because my wife said there's no way that this is show prep.
Bro, I'm going to set up a stand for this at Charlie Daniels.
Do you think anybody can do it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's peak male specimen right there.
Yeah.
So, all right. It's good, but I had to do it again, or I would have been in trouble with my wife. She said, "You're stalling. This is not show prep." I said, "It is show prep." And now it is. Shenanigans! I had to do it. All right, next story in the lightning round. If you've been keeping track at home, you know that the president has been talking about this for a long time. Lawmakers and police officials cooking the books to make cities seem safer. The president tweeted about this, Truth Social, about this. He truthed in August of 2025, saying that they were cooking the books and investigations were underway. Well, those investigations of police officials manipulating crime data to make places seem safer have come to a head, and top Washington, D.C. police officials are reportedly about to be fired after being caught for faking crime data.
The city is a safer place now than it was during the pandemic, but there are reports multiple metropolitan police leaders may soon lose their jobs amid an investigation into alleged manipulation of crime data. Now, D.C. police are not confirming this report. They say they don't comment on personal matters, but this is seen as a sweeping shakeup among the capital's police force. As the Washington Post writes, multiple high-ranking police officials have been served papers, basically saying the department intends to fire them, according to people familiar with the situation. D.C. crime crime still a national issue. The president's decision to deploy National Guard troops to assist law enforcement throughout the district. Those troops, they are still on duty, and they may be here for quite some time. But in D.C., teen violence remains a huge problem. Today, D.C. City's Council is looking to take a vote whether to make a juvenile curfew permanent. D.C.'s mayor, Democrat Muriel Bowser, she is pushing for the curfew to stay in place. She says this is not about punishment, but protection. She sent a letter to the council today in which she said, quote, the intent of the curfew is not to arrest our young people. It's to keep them safe. Curfew zones steer young people away from potentially dangerous situations before they escalate.
So on the top officials reportedly about to be fired, there is claims that they were making home invasions, armed home invasions, classified as trespassing. So making a dangerous felony a simple misdemeanor, and then saying, look at how great we've gotten at eliminating home invasions. It's, stunning and brave. I think that not only should these individuals be fired, I think that they should be forced to lose their retirement benefits and their pension. You need to be solving crime, not pretending it's not there. We'll keep you updated on this story as more information becomes available. Got another story for you here inside the Lightning Round.
Another one.
Let's go. Let's go. This guy, I found a new hero. I did. Inside Edition posted this. This guy was an unemployed ice cream truck driver, okay? And this is from back in the 70s. This is just being revealed today. What this man did is such a boss move. You remember the game where they would yell, no whammies, no whammies. It was called Press Your Luck. So this guy wanted to get on the game show. And he figured out that the whammy pattern was a repeating pattern. And he fleeced the show $110,000 in one day.
This game show contestant is about to go down in TV history as the luckiest man in America. The year is 1984, and 35-year-old Michael Larson is appearing on the hit game show Press Your Luck. In the game, if the light comes to a stop on the dreaded whammy square, they lose all their winnings.
You don't want the whammy. Nobody wanted the whammies.
But Larson can't seem to lose.
Stop at $1,000 and a spin. $4,000 and a spin. Stop at $5,000.
Instead, he just keeps winning.
Michael, you're on a roll. Stop at Kauai. Stop. $5,000 and a spin. If you haven't lost a spin, Michael, you're done never losing. Let's go.
Larson quickly surpassed $50,000.
$4,000.
And the game show host, Peter Tamarkin, can't believe it.
Michael, I've never seen anyone press their luck like you are, and you are pressing your luck.
Michael Brockman was the head of daytime programming for CBS. When Larson made his epic game show appearance, he says executives suspected hanky-panky.
Hanky-panky. He was card counting. Essentially, he was doing the game show equivalent of card counting.
Oh, yeah.
So they were watching from the control room in an absolute panic.
Oh, I bet.
Knew something was wrong and something was off. They just didn't know what, and there was no way to stop it.
So how did this unemployed ice cream truck driver pull it off?
How are you an unemployed ice cream truck driver? Are you just driving around with ice cream for fun at that point?
Or is it just the winter season?
Are you? Is that what it is?
That's my guess.
He's a furloughed ice cream truck driver. Are you not charging for the ice cream?
I mean, it's a seasonal thing.
But I don't know how you can be an unemployed ice cream truck driver. And, why would you lead with that? You know what I mean?
Maybe he did something else and was like, this would be funny.
What do you do for work? I'm an unemployed ice cream truck driver. I might do that. If I ever lose this job, they're like, what do you do? I'm going to just start doing random things.
Does he have the ice cream but not the truck?
I'm an unemployed door dasher. What? Yeah, what do you have? Do you have the truck and no ice cream or ice cream and no truck?
I have the DoorDash bags but no car.
I really put the emphasis on dashing, but they told me I wasn't allowed to do it by foot.
No running.
It turns out it wasn't just luck after all. Michael Larson was gaming the game by doing his homework. He kept watching old episodes and figured out there was a definite pattern to all those flashing lights. He knew exactly when to yell stop to keep the prizes coming.
Stop! $4,000! Stop! Stop at $5,000 and a spin.
Larson ended up winning a whopping $110,237 in cash and prizes. At that time, the largest in game show history. Janie Dankin was the other contestant on that memorable day.
When Michael kept winning and winning, I thought it was a joke. I thought, there's no way they're going to let him win this much money.
She seemed to take pleasure in Larson's impossible winning streak.
She wanted to call shenanigans. You know she did. She was so salty that he figured it out. He had basically recorded the show on VCR and just watched every tape for all time and figured it out. But, like, what if there was no pattern and he wasted all that time? You know what I mean?
Like, oh, I see it.
What if, like, he got in there that day and they had just changed it up?
He shows up like Charlie Day from Always Sunny with the whiteboard and all the red lines connecting for the pattern.
Who
He's
is
like, I got
Pepe
it.
Silva?
I got it.
Yeah. So
lost on the first one.
Absolutely based. Absolutely based. Best unemployed ice cream truck driver ever.
Now he can buy the truck.
Now he could buy the truck, he could buy the ice cream. He was set for life.
He's doing well.
What is $110,000 in 1984 money? Do you know off the top of your head?
I'm gonna look it up.
To look it up for me real quick. But yeah, it was 5 repeating patterns. And he had 2 specific squares, never landing on a whammy, and he always hit the highest dollar values. They say he spent his last savings on a bus ticket to Los Angeles, auditioned, and got on the show. He didn't even know if he was going to get on it. He wasted all that time. He quit his job as an ice cream truck driver because he figured that he could do this. And then he did. He went 45 consecutive spins without a single whammy. What's the dollar amount in today's money? Give it
It's equivalent to purchasing power of approximately $319,748.50.
That's it?
That's it.
All right. Got another survey here in the lightning round. I'm less impressed. I'll be honest. I'm much less impressed than I was a little while ago.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
I wish we hadn't looked it up. It felt more impressive before.
I'm just kidding. I made up the number. It's actually worth like $5 million now.
Listen, if you have enough grit and determination, you too can be an unemployed ice cream truck driver. All right, next story in the lightning round. Revenge of the meme stock is what Breitbart is calling this.
Oh.
We talked about how Pocahontas and Buttigieg, when they weren't worried about racist bridges, they were stopping the merger between Spirit and JetBlue.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a merger that needs to stop. GameStop is proposing a $56 billion acquisition of eBay. And I can't think of a merger that is more destined to fail than this.
Yeah.
Does anybody even eBay anymore?
Does anybody even GameStop anymore?
These are both serious questions. Video game retailer GameStop announced Sunday it has made an unsolicited offer to acquire the online marketplace eBay for approximately $56 billion in a cash and stock transaction, marking one of the most ambitious takeover attempts in recent corporate history. The Wall Street Journal reports that GameStop is offering $125 per share for eBay in a deal structured as an equal mix of cash and stock, according to a letter sent by GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen to eBay's board of directors. The proposed price represents a 20% premium over eBay's closing stock price as of last Friday. Cohen has indicated that he is prepared to bypass eBay's board and take the proposal directly to shareholders if the offer is rejected. They say that the bid represents a bold move by GameStop, whose market capitalization stands nearly at $12 billion to acquire eBay, which is valued at $46 billion, nearly 4 times GameStop's size. And they say they're doing it to compete with Amazon. Best of luck to you in your future endeavors, Mr. CEO Ryan Cohen.
Yeah,
I feel like that's your last move as the CEO of GameStop.
Yeah, I was just telling Antoine, the guy I'm training today, I go walk at the Opry Mills a lot because apparently one loop around that mall is a mile. Just getting steps in. I used to stop in GameStop over there.
It's just you and the elderly?
Just me and the elderly.
Okay.
We're matching pace, small walkers.
All right, keep going.
I used to go stop in GameStop, though, because I look at new games that were coming out, or I go look at, like, cool, like, statues, whatever. It's gone now. It's just a big billboard.
That's it?
That's it.
Dude,
GameStop's dying.
We're going to see this. We're going to see just brick and mortar stores disappear more and more and more.
It's terrifying.
All right, I think I got time for one more story in the lightning round, real quick. I had this. I've been sitting on this one for a while. This is the Great Mac and Cheese Caper of 2026.
Welcome back, everyone. Now to your Lone Star Fastcast. A quick look at the news across the state. A former Dallas area Chick-fil-A employee is accused of stealing more than $80,000 in a fraud involving mac and cheese. Grapevine police sharing this picture from surveillance cameras. They say it shows Keyshawn Jones standing behind the counter where he rang up 800 trays of mac and cheese and then refunded them to his personal credit cards, totaling just over $80,000. Police say this happened in November of last year, a month after Jones had been terminated. Jones avoided arrest for months, but was taken into custody earlier this month.
A for effort.
Would you rather do this or win a game show?
Win a game show every single time.
Mac and cheese, though.
He's an unemployed ice cream driver. What is he supposed to do?
He's an unemployed Chick-fil-A employee. What is he supposed to do?
Well, okay, here's my thing. If you're going to do it, like, wouldn't there be better ways to do it? Couldn't you have refunded it to a gift card and not had it traced back to you? But I guess you worked there, so he would have been busted anyway.
Yeah.
Dumbest criminal of the week.
Wear a mask.
Yeah. Hey, Ken, I know that you guys haven't exactly tasted championships on nincompoops in the news. But that's a good one for you if you need one today. It's 11:52. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Zero Res Nashville. Real life in my house right now. 4 kids, 2 dogs, baseball season, a lot of red dirt coming through the door. I told the kids we're going to be charged for the amount of red dirt we're stealing from the baseball fields. And it's like I'm paying for it twice because I do need to clean up the carpets. We looked down last night. We're like, what on earth? So we know we can call Zero Res. It's actually no stress at all. I like how they do their approach. No harsh chemicals, no soap residue left behind, just their special ZR water cleaning system. It actually gets the carpets insanely clean and helps them stay clean longer. Plus, I love that it's the Maha approach, Make America Healthy Again, of cleaning your home. Again, no harsh chemicals, no soap residue. If you check the reviews, it's obvious that it's not just my wife and myself that love Zero Res. There are thousands of families around Nashville using them. Right now is the perfect time to do it. Get your house ready for spring. You can call 615-535-9376, 615-535-9376. 2 and 3 room specials going on right now. ZeroResNashville.com.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Murphy with Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and this morning we are out and about at my house, my brand new house that I've been talking about on the radio, with Nate from USS. What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm excellent. How about you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
We invited Nate out. Now, obviously, when you're a new homeowner, especially when you buy a house that's got a few years on it, you don't know what you're dealing with in terms of foundation. And I know that Nate knows a lot more about what I don't see and what I don't know about than I do. So bring the experts out and get them to check out your house. Hey guys, Matt Murphy again with Nate with USS, and Nate has just wrapped up kind of a look at the house. And Nate, what'd you find?
Well, your house is in pretty good shape for the age of it. I had to look pretty hard to find.
Okay.
Your house being on a slope like it is here, I think we could do a lot of good by trying to terminate your downspouts a little further from the house there.
Okay.
Roof water is the killer of foundations, and so if we can just get it to a positive grade to drain away from your house, I think that's real cheap insurance.
You want to kind of get it out and downhill.
That's right. Yeah.
That's
So
the idea.
make sure that it doesn't come right back down towards the foundation walls and causing issues, settlement or leakage.
Now, if folks are watching this video and they are like, we need to get Nate out to the house to do a look. I mean, it took, I watched you do it. It's, 30, 45 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
To do a comprehensive kind of an examination around the house. And they just give you a call and schedule?
Yeah, absolutely. You can call our main phone number, or you can call reach USSTN.com and schedule right through the website there. Our girls in the call center will get back to you just about immediately, as long as it's during business hours. So
this just makes a lot of sense, folks, for you guys to do an examination of your house like we've done, to check it out. I'm going to get those gutters done with Nate and his team at USS, and then we'll do a video and let you know how those look at the end of all of this. So thank you, guys.
Hey, that'd be great.
We appreciate you, brother.
Matt, we appreciate you.
$11:58, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Ken Weaver's in the newsroom. Hey, real quick, just before we go any further, I got a text from Matt Murphy because I said you should use the mac and cheese story for nincompoops.
Yeah.
He said it was used last week, so abort. Don't do it. You will be disqualified.
I don't want to be DQ'd again.
He also said that I have to come present the trophy Friday at Dickens Turf in Murfreesboro.
Oh. Is everybody going to be out there?
I don't know. I got to figure out how to get this thing in the dishwasher after the week we've had. I'll be perfectly honest with you.
It's all dented and stuff.
I think if I take the top rack out, I can get it all in.
It's had a lot of cereal.
Did you carve your name on it like they do the Stanley Cup?
I said I wrote "hand was here" on the bottom of
it. Talk to the hand.
just chiseled that bad boy in.
Brother Hand rubbing it in, boy.
We've been wearing the crown. I didn't realize that the chalice was part of it.
Oh, yeah.
I never brought home the chalice.
You didn't take home the chalice?
Well, take it home, man.
I didn't take home the chalice.
You've won it fair and square.
No, he didn't.
It was fair. It was fair. The early voting really put me over the top.
It did.
Yeah.
And we're going to check it. We're going to have to look into that early voting.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
mail-in
you guys,
votes, the early
you'll have
voting.
to have an executive order to deal with that down the line. It wasn't in effect during the last voting process.
Well, unfortunately, Murphy thought we were in executive session at one point, and he said, I don't care what the voters think.
I know.
And I said, Murph, we're not in executive session.
He's got to be careful, or his audience is going to treat him like some state senators in Indiana.
Well, let me tell you something. If you don't care what the voters think, that feels like somebody who might be governor here.
What are you talking about today on your show?
Oh, we're going to talk a little redistricting. There was some voting and stuff that went on yesterday. Steve Cohen was rather interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was an interesting situation there. We'll talk about that. Obviously, the war may be over.
Let's go.
One-page memo. That's all we needed.
That's it.
One page.
I'm here for it.
There we go. So hopefully that gets done, or they may bomb. You don't know.
That's
those are our two things.
I literally said we're full Katy Perry right now. Hot or cold. It's 12 o'clock. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.